specific moment when you kind of had that mindset shift? Was there an event that happened, or just sort of gradual over time?
If I was to tell like a younger girl going into this industry, just you have to be the kind of person that can work as hard as you can work, and that's all you can really do. It's like just being on the other side of it, being like, no, it's gonna be fine. It's all gonna work itself out. Every job you have, even if it's not necessarily one that you want, is gonna bring you some kind of positive in your life. Every single door that shuts, another opens, and I also really go by that. It really does. Everything I've ever done has so far brought a positive out of it.
You had a moment when you were like, fuck, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should go back to school, or like you should quit moment? Excuse me. Nikki, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm pretty well. How was that traffic driving in? Pretty shitty?
You know, it couldn't get much worse, honestly, but I made it here. Shockingly, only 2 minutes late.
Yeah, when you sent me the screenshot of where you were and I just saw the red line, and I was like, oh, fuck, she's stuck on Lansdowne there.
No, I know. I was like, I had to send you the screenshot because I feel like so many people will tell me they're on their way and they're like late for something, but they're not even like actually on their way. I was like, no, I'm actually almost here. I swear, it's traffic.
No, it's okay. We're usually behind schedule. That's the ADD in me. Yeah. Last minute everything.
Yep. Oh yeah. You can tell me about that. I have the same thing. Procrastination.
You procrastinate pretty bad then?
Yeah, I procrastinate terribly, but I mean, through the years I've managed it. After I found out that I had ADHD, it made it a lot easier for me to like sort my life out and progress that way.
Are you more on the ADD side of things, or the HD with the hyperactivity as well?
I think a little bit more of the HD side. The hyperactivity really comes into play when I have a hard time interrupting people, because I get really excited about conversation, and it'll go as far as I have to really focus to not interrupt somebody else. But then I've zoned out from what you're saying because I'm focusing so hard to not interrupt you, and then I have to ask you to repeat yourself.
Yeah, what did you say?
I'm like, sorry, could you say that one more time? But I need a lot of focus to like maintain conversation. But so this is
that's where the caffeine comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Caffeine helps.
Caffeine kind of calms me down, actually. I don't know if that does the same for you, but
yeah, my doctor said, because when I first got diagnosed, I was probably, I don't know, crushing like 1,000, 1,500 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Yeah.
And she said the stimulant is what's keeping you going. It's helping you to dial yourself in. And I was like, that kind of makes sense. Like all these years, I never knew.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. I feel I can have coffee before bed and just have a great night's sleep, and it's easy for me.
Doesn't affect me.
No, not at all. But sometimes I'm like, I wish I had a pick me up instead of some kind, but it is what it is.
Maybe like a triple espresso or something, a little bit over the edge.
Yeah, then the anxiety sets in, and then I feel like I'm doing something right, but yeah. How long have you had, you've had it your whole life, but how long have you been diagnosed with it?
Less than a year, maybe 8 months or so.
Okay, so very new for you.
Very new.
Yeah.
We kind of knew for a while. We sort of had like a joke going, like, oh yeah, it's the ADHD. And then I had a friend get diagnosed, and her and I are very similar. And she says to my wife, she's like, Caleb has ADHD. And she's like, no. She's like, yes. And then my wife started comparing things that we do exactly the same.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like I guess we'll go in and actually start the process, and yada, yada. Here I am now, and meds definitely help.
Yeah. No, they really, really do. It's crazy. For me, I knew my whole life, obviously. My parents knew way before I knew. But the actual diagnosis aspect of things was a very hard process. But through counselors and psychologists, it became very like a realization that it's very prevalent in my life that I have ADHD. But yeah, it's been, what I hate the most about ADHD is I really hate how people like to use it as an excuse for laziness nowadays. A lot of people just self-diagnose and use it as excuse for behaviors, or people will just assume that you're doing that. And it's like, it's actually very difficult, I find, to have ADHD. I don't know about you, but it's...
Yeah, the simplest tasks are the hard ones, like putting laundry away.
Yeah.
That's actually the first time first day I took meds, and my wife's like, hey, can you put your laundry away? And I went upstairs and yada, yada, put it all away. And I came downstairs and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I put it all away. She's like, bullshit. She goes upstairs and she was amazed. She said, you realize in the 8 years we've been together, you've never put it all away in one go. And I was like, holy fuck. I didn't even notice though. I just went and did it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't notice when you're doing these things. You're just doing them and then you move on to something else. And then, but yeah, it's like, I like to think of it as the best way I could describe having ADHD is imagining someone going through life using their non-dominant hand for the entire day. So if you could go through the entire day using your non-dominant hand, you would probably be able to get through the day, but it would take so much more focus. And I feel like I go through life with two left hands a lot of the time. So that's kind of like my perspective on having ADHD. But once you like know that you have it, I feel it becomes a lot more manageable.
I found with myself, I'm not sure how you were with it, but when I actually had the diagnosis and I found out, it made sense why I did some of the things. Whereas before, I thought maybe I was just procrastinating because I was lazy. But it's like, no, I was like, I physically couldn't do that. My brain wasn't allowing me because I wanted, piece of candy, like, you know what I mean? Just totally. off to something else right away.
Yeah, 100%. I think was a struggle for me in my life with relationships of all sorts. People just assuming those things and having a hard time with the personality that I have, and then having that reason after. It's like you don't have to beat yourself up anymore. It clears your mind a little bit, which is super nice. But yeah, very scatterbrained.
Yeah, I like that you brought up personality because I know for myself, if I like something, there's no half-assing it. It's like I have to put everything into that. And for the longest time with friends and family and my wife as well, that they just were like, that's just kind of how he is. But now that there's this, I've been diagnosed and they know why I am that way. Like I don't really have a choice. If I'm going to do something like the podcast, for example, I went all fucking in, not just me on a mic and you sitting there on a couch or something with a, iPhone camera filming that. I wanted to do it top production from the start, but that's because I didn't really have a choice in the matter. Yeah,
no, 100%. It's a hyperfixation, but that they last. Like I don't know about your hyperfixations, but I don't get hyperfixated on a lot of things, but when I get hyperfixated on something, it becomes a massive part of my life that sticks around for so long. Like my job, my creativity, it's something I hyperfixated on right after high school, and then it's just been that way ever since, and I can't get myself out of it. It becomes like who you are.
Part of your identity.
Yeah, it becomes a part of your identity, which I think is a good thing. I think people that have ADHD have a lot of very cool qualities about themselves that not necessarily everybody gets to have. It's like a little superpower.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
Yeah.
I think with being creative as well, you're able to hone in and you might be able to focus on your art for 10, 12 hours, forget to eat, forget to drink water, don't use the washroom when you're like, where did the day go? But because of that, I'm sure a lot of creative people and artists that have this, they can do better in their craft versus someone who doesn't have this. And 4 hours later, they're like, okay, I can move on to the next thing. But whereas people with ADHD are like, no, I have to finish this. Like I have to keep this train of thought going or I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's you have to have it, or you're gonna lose it, and then you move on to the next thing, and then that's gone.
Yeah, you're never going back.
You never go back, and then you're on to the next thing in your life. Yeah, I definitely resonate with that quite a bit. Yeah. But yeah,
you talked about getting out of high school, and then is that when you started to get creative?
No, I mean I've been creative my whole life. I was very focused on being athletic for the longest time. And I thought that's what I was supposed to be and supposed to do. And I kind of pushed my creativity aside, even though it was a huge part of me. I would stay in during lunch hours as a kid in my music room with my friends and write songs instead of playing. Have you ever played Grounders or whatever?
It wasn't. I'm a little bit older than you, but I do know what it is.
Yeah, okay. Games on the playground, essentially. I'd stay inside and write music with them instead. And then my parents saw that and they figured they should send me to art school. And so in grade 8, transitioning into high school, I went to BD School of the Arts, which now when I look back, I'm so happy that I got to do that for the grade 8 year. But at the time, I was super mad that they pulled me out of a school with my friends. I only stuck with it for a year, and then I essentially at 13 chose relationship over creativity in school and education.
Sounds like a teenager.
Yeah, normal thing to do. And so I went to Valley View, and I mean, that in itself brought its own benefits to me. I met a lot of people there that were still creative people that helped me in my career flourish later in life. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily until I got my camera as a graduation present, which was a weird gift to get for me considering I dropped out of photography class in high school and went into a PE class. But I got that and then just started practicing from there. Yeah. Basically was kind of where I think I decided that it was what I was meant to do.
You found right away you had a knack behind the camera that second time around?
Yeah, the second time around. I mean, I always would make little video productions on iMovie as a kid and do photo shoots with my friends with our cameras, like on our phones or our iPods at the time. Yeah. But it wasn't ever anything I thought would be my actual job. And then I got a knack for it. After high school, I would start doing photos of my friend Noah. He's like my best friend. And he was just so open to doing all the types of photo shoots I wanted to and asked him to do. He would just like, dress me up, do whatever you want, and we'll take pictures. And that was when I thought, oh, this is really fun. And so we became close over that and bonded over that. And I would post pictures on my Instagram, and people liked it, and it kind of just took off from there. Yeah.
Did you get pretty early on into making it as a job then?
Yeah, it kind of happened pretty fast. I was doing that with Noah, and it kind of took over my friendship side of things where all my friends wanted me to do photos of them. It started very small, just your friends asking you to take pictures of them and their boyfriend or something like that. But it wasn't until I was in a parking lot one day, and this girl named Delane Dixon, who's a Kamloops local fashion designer, she tapped me on my shoulder and complimented my shirt. And I was very intimidated at the time. I was like 17, and she was in her later 20s, and she was beautiful, and I was so panicked. And when she asked me to model for her for a fashion shoot she had, and so I agreed. And then I had told her about my photography, and she said, yeah, for sure, but you're going to model for this. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Not what I want to do, but it's a good in, right?
It's an opportunity.
And then when she added me to the group chat, she said, meet our photographer for our Harper's Bazaar shoot, which is an insanely big magazine that I was definitely not prepared to do, but could not say no to the opportunity.
No, for sure.
And so I got the opportunity to take pictures of her models for Harper's Bazaar magazine. And I think I was 17 or 18. And from there, that point on, I luckily got to be on her platform. And so people saw my work and then started asking me, how much do you charge? And I was like, you're going to pay me to take pictures? Sure. So yeah, I think that was the turning point of where I started actually making income from my job. But I still had to have many other jobs still sometimes I have to have other jobs when things are slow. But it's a slow process, but it's so worth it to me.
Well, you're still quite young, aren't you? Like 21?
I'm 22.
22.
Yes,
okay, so quite young in your career still for that.
Definitely, yeah.
You must have been pretty good from the get-go, though, if you're shooting for a magazine right away.
I mean, I never actually, I really believe in fake it till you make it, like very strongly. And I think it was your podcast that I saw this in, but was it you that said that you don't necessarily believe in like talent? It's about work, like hard work.
I've shot a lot. Maybe I said that. Let's say it was me.
Okay. Yeah. But I was going to like counteract it a little bit because I was going to say that talent definitely isn't everything for sure. Like I believe talent exists. Hard work comes with that. But I do think that I was lucky enough to have a creative eye that came to me very naturally. And so I didn't know how Lightroom worked. I didn't read my histograms. I didn't no composition or any of that stuff. I just would click around on a bunch of buttons until I thought it looked good, and people liked the way that I thought things looked good. So that gave me like the creative freedom to move around with like my editing until I could actually learn how to do it. So yeah, I think I just faked it.
Just
for
fucked
like
around with the
editing
software?
I just like I just screwed around with everything until I thought it was cool, and yeah, I just faked it until somebody liked what I did. And
Thrown right into the fire and just kept going with it.
100%. I never. It was 100% people skills. Like I really believe that people skills can get you so much farther than I thought it would get me in life. I don't know about you, but like when people are kind and have good sociable skills and speaking skills, like I'm so much more likely to want them to work with me than someone that's just good at what they do.
My younger sister, all the talent in the world. She just picks up a hockey stick, she kicks a soccer ball, she goes, starts playing the guitar, and she just naturally picks it up. But she also works very, very hard at things. She also has ADHD, so it runs in the family. But for me, no talent. I am talentless. Everything that I have to do, I have to work so hard at. And that's actually probably where ADHD has helped me in my life, is that if I want to do something, I'm going to put all my effort into it. So I would get good at things from doing it over and over and over and like beating my head against a wall until the wall kind of fell down. So that's where I think like for me, the hard work has to outweigh the talent, because there was no natural talent. Any talent I have is from skills that I've worked at getting, opposed to just like stepping into the podcast. Oh, here I am. I know how to speak to people and have conversations. It's because I've, spent 10 years bartending and working on conversational skills that way.
That makes sense. I was going to say, I was like, I don't know, because I feel you're a very good speaker and that's a talent. But I guess that was just hard work over the years and practice over a long course of time.
I think part of it too is I've always been goofy. I don't really care what people think of me. So I don't get embarrassed. I'm not going to worry about what people are going to think after the fact if I do something stupid. And there's been a lot of stupid things that I've done, and went into bartending and could kind of talk to people and wasn't that good at it. Couldn't talk to girls at all. I was pretty late bloomer in that regard.
Well, bartending probably helped you with that.
For sure. I'm working with all these, beautiful women, and they were chatting with me, and I kind of realized one day they're talking to me. They're just like normal people as well, and kind of switch kind of flipped, and then I could talk to everyone after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like bartending and serving and all those restaurant jobs are so amazing for that. I've tried to get my little brother into doing that just so he gets the speaking skills, because I think that it's the number one job to have sociable skills. Yep. Yeah, it's like super important.
Anything customer service focused for sure.
Yeah, anything where the customer is right, when you have to learn to bite your tongue sometimes, like that's very important as well, I find. But yeah, that's wild, because I would have never guessed that it doesn't come naturally to you, like the speaking. It seems so.
I did lots of theater as a kid, so I got used to being in front of people and that sort of thing. But it's definitely, I read books on communication and lots of books on old school books on like radio and how to project your voice and the role of me as the host. I'm not here to interview you. I'm here to make you feel comfortable so that you open up and we just have a natural conversation, and the time kind of just flows by. But yeah, definitely a skill that I've worked on a lot.
Yeah, no, the speaking thing for me comes naturally, but I feel, you were saying reading books, I feel like if I read, it might be even better. I'd never read anything, but I find that people that read are very well spoken and really great communicators. I don't know how I'm a good communicator, because I never read, but I think that's a really important skill.
More than one way to skin a cat. You don't have to read to learn how to do something. You could watch it, you could experience it, you could use your hands, kinesthetic, right?
Totally. I'm a very visual learner, and like using my hands as well. I have to repeat something with my hands, or like physically doing it. I can't just listen and understand that that's like what I'm supposed to do.
Well, being a photographer, being visual and with hands-on, it's going to go hand in hand with the skill and the niche that you're going into for work. Yeah,
definitely always using my hands, and constantly, like visual is like a huge part of it. Sometimes I'll get hired for jobs that aren't necessarily even about taking the photos. I just am proofing videos and proofing photography. So I have to...
What's proofing then?
Like someone will send me a video and it's basically just using my creativity in my brain to say, okay, this part of the clip should be like 3 seconds shorter so it makes more sense to the audience. Or I'll look at a photo and I'll say, this part of her eye should be a little bit sharper and that's a bit too green, like things like that. So it's something that I've gotten to now at this point in my career because I have like a clientele that trusts my visuals and my visions. So it was definitely not something I used to be able to do, but now that over time I've gotten used to doing that. I really enjoy it. Yeah. It's a fun part of my job.
Yeah. Are you still doing any work with Delaney Dixon then?
Yeah, like we're friends too, right? Okay. So like we're really buddy. Me and her, we never have any transactional work together anymore. Now all of our work is just because we want to. And it's a really nice creative break because a lot of work nowadays is all business and it's more than just having fun and the creative part of the job. Now it's like hard work a lot of the time as time goes on. So going back to Delane and getting to just shoot with her for fun and model for fun and there's no pressure when I'm editing, and they always end up in the coolest places, what we do. But we just recently did a Vancouver Fashion Week, and I walked in it, though. I didn't actually do any photos. But she is so awesome that way. She just got all of us on stage, all of her friends. She didn't really hire any models that were trained professional models. She just wanted real people to be in the clothes she's in, and she got a grant fund and everything from it, so it was a really cool experience. I
saw your walk on Instagram there.
Yeah.
It looked like you knew what you're doing. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to modeling. I just enjoy it. It's just a fun hobby of mine. That's not work for me.
Could you see yourself doing more of that then? You look like you were a bit natural up there.
I mean, I think if the work came to me, I mean, it's something that can potentially pay a lot of money. So if I were to get an offer of some kind, I would probably take it, but it's not something that I'm necessarily super passionate about that I would chase. I would rather chase the career I have now and feel I've really worked for it instead of just kind of being like placed into it and having a fun time with it.
Yeah, if the opportunity is there and you can make a few bucks, then
then I'll do it. Like, why not? You know, it's really fun to do, but I feel I have more creative freedom behind the camera than I do in front of the camera.
Yeah, you're doing the directing opposed to someone else.
Yeah. And that's very important to me. That's part of the whole reason I got into the industry I'm in.
You spoke earlier about still having to work some like side jobs and stuff, make ends meet.
Totally.
What's that like when you know you have this talent and what you want to do, but you still have to kind of eat? Yeah.
I mean, I chose to move out of my parents' house. And I lived with somebody for like 2.5 years, so that helped quite a bit with making ends meet. So I definitely was able to slow down on the side jobs. But I recently have moved out onto my own. Congratulations. Thank you. I decided not to go back to my parents' house. I couldn't do it. I love them so much, and they're the reason I am where I am today, but I was just need my own space.
It's nice to have your own space once you finally have it.
100%. So I am now paying rent completely by myself and my food, and it's definitely a lot trickier, so I've had to pick up more side jobs, but it's hard because I want to just do my job that I love and not have like 5 jobs to be a creative person. But that's kind of just the way the wind blows, I think, when you're in this industry, is you have to work to get to where you want to be. And it'll all come together if you're working really hard and you like have a big passion for it. And so I kind of have developed the mindset of like, it is what it is.
I love that. It's one of my favorite sayings. Yeah. It is what it is.
Though. I mean, I really don't believe anything is as deep as everybody makes it sound. And I think that if you're just grateful for where you are, you know, you could do better and you want to work to do better. But it's important to remember like where you are is okay. And I have to remind myself of that a lot. But I feel very unbothered by the fact that I have to work extra right now. So it's okay. I'm okay with it.
Well, you just keep working at the thing that you want to, and the jobs will come, your skills will get better, the people you meet, the connections will be there, and one day you'll meet someone, like you said, in a parking lot.
Yeah.
That experience will happen again, and then all of a sudden the next chapter in your book turns over, and you're like, I don't have to do those jobs anymore. I can do this one big job, and that will support me for the next 5 months while I do other ones.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of just like how it goes. And then it's also like, if you have the mindset of every job you have, even if it's not necessarily one that you want, is going to bring you some kind of positive in your life. Every single door that shuts, another opens. And I also really go by that. It really does. Everything I've ever done has so far brought a positive out of it. Even if there's like a mass negative that happens, there's always some tiny little thing that leads to something pretty cool. And I mean, maybe that's just my mindset on it, and that's why I feel that way. And it's not actually that cool, but it feels pretty nice to just like have that idea, you know? I don't know, it's relaxing.
Are you usually a pretty chill person, or do you stress about, you don't have a job coming up?
With work, I don't really stress too much. Sometimes if I have too much work, I get stressed, because I will do that. I'll have absolutely nothing going on, and I'm like, sweet, and I can relax for like a week, and then all of a sudden I'll just get like bombarded with offers and jobs, and then I take them all on because I'm like, can't say no to that, say no to that, and then I overdo it, and I get a little bit stressed.
But you're young, you should be working 50, 60, 70-hour weeks while you can. It's
Yeah.
the fastest way to increase your skills, right? Kobe Bryant used to practice 9 hours a day over the course of a year against the guy who's practicing 3 hours a day. He's done 3 years of work when he's done one.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think you really clock out from 9 to 5 at this age or in the creative industry. I think you're constantly working, even when it's not necessarily at a gig. You're always working on your own brand, your own image. You have to constantly be working on something, especially right now. I think this is the time in my life and every 22-year-old's life, where opportunity is knocking at your door. And
Gotta open the door, let it in.
A lot of people don't, though. I think a lot of people, they feel that their 20s is the time to like have the best time of their lives and party and play. And I think that there's room for that. I do believe that not necessarily balance, because I think that there should be more work than play, but that's just the way I'm oriented.
I don't believe in work-life balance.
Yeah, I don't either. I do, however, believe in the importance of having fun. So I think that it is important to still have times where you can go and have a good time and not worry about it. But I think I prefer to work, and I think most of us should be working longer hours.
Yeah.
It's so hated, probably, that thought, but it's fine.
I think from the time I was like 24 until 34, I had 2 or 3 jobs at all time.
Yeah.
Work 8 hours at one, get off, have just enough time to get to the next one and start it again. And like, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved working and stacking cash and
Right.
being able, when I do at that downtime, if I want to buy something or go somewhere, I can, but I would usually push that off and work more.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the ADHD or something, but like I feel people that have ADHD are so work oriented. I think maybe it has to do with like wanting to be busy all the time.
Yes.
But I suck at not being busy. Like when I'm at home, if I'm at home and I actually have nothing, like I've finished everything I could possibly think of finishing, I'm like 100% looking for the next thing I can do. There's not a moment in my life, I think, that I'm sitting there not doing anything.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know how.
The only times that happens for me is, so usually my routine, I'm usually up at like 4:30. I hit the gym before work. I work from 6:30 to right now, like 5:30, because the traffic sucks. So I can stay an extra hour instead of being stuck in traffic an hour. So I'll do, 11-hour day of work, and I work up before, and then I get home, and as soon as I sit down in my spot on my couch and my brain's like, hey, you're exhausted, I'm like, oh, and then I like sink into the couch, and then it's time for bed. But unless I'm exhausted, even on like the weekends, I'm never sitting at home. I can't.
Oh yeah, same.
I'm like, how your like leg bounces up and down?
Yeah.
That's like inside of you, right? You're like, oh shit, there's stuff to do. I can be doing so many things. Just get out and go.
It's just like FOMO of life. Like if I'm at home, I have the fear of missing out of everything and anything. When I was younger, I used to like hate going to bed because I felt I was missing out on whatever was happening when I was 12. Like I don't even know what I could have been doing, but I was scared to miss out on whatever it was. And even now, I find myself, I'll stay up until like 3 a.m. before I have to go to work at 6:30 or something, just trying to figure out the next thing I can work on or the next project.
It's hard to turn the brain off,
Oh,
right?
it's so hard to turn the brain off. Yeah. I have to exhaust myself before I fall asleep.
Yeah, I take lots of sleep supplements to help me like turn that off because I'll get into bed and it's, man, there's so many things. And like, it's like, no. Like I have a notebook beside the bed or I'll yell like, hey Siri, like make this note. And it puts the note in there for me. And it's just, I'll have 10 notes in there from the night. And it's like, no, like you're supposed to sleep. Like sleep's supposed to be good for you. And I don't sleep as much as I should.
Yeah, I definitely don't either. Is it melatonin that you take or?
Oh, what don't I take? So
I don't take any supplements, so I'd like to know.
I take one. It's a gummy. It's by a brand called Olly, Olly, and it's like their super sleep one. So it's got melatonin, L-theanine. It's purple, so I think it's got like lavender in it.
Okay.
And then I think there's magnesium, and then I take GABA on top of that. And then the nights that I'm really like, you know how you'll be going up to bed and your mind's racing, and then sometimes I'm like, okay, I can get into bed, but the other times it's like sleep's not coming.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Then I'll take like a dose of like ZQL, and then I actually have to like be exhausted or like be knocked out most of the times.
Yeah, the exhaustion. The ZQL I've done a couple times. On a night that I know I have to get up really early, I'll use ZQL sometimes.
Because you'll be thinking about having to get up.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I got to get up in like 6 hours. And it's like, no. It's going to be 3 hours now because you're not sleeping yet.
No, I didn't sleep last night. No, I was thinking about today and I was like, what am I going to say? And I did not sleep awake.
One of the tricks that I started just recently doing is I always want to get up at like 4:30 and say the night goes long and it's 10 o'clock. And then I'm only going to get 6.5 or 5 hours. And then I'm stressed and thinking about, shit, I'm not going to get enough sleep. I'll tell myself, like, it's okay to only get 6 hours. It's okay. Like, don't worry about it. I'm like, all right, it's okay. I know I can function off that.
Yeah. If you can function off it, then it's like, you're fine. If you can actually do it. Not necessarily maybe the healthiest, but if you're doing it once in a while. Whatever.
I can do it for like 5 or 6 nights in a row, like under 6 or 5 hours. And last night, I wanted to go to the gym this morning, and work's been long and shooting's been long, and I've got like 5 or 6 a night. And then my wife says, you shouldn't go to the gym tomorrow. I'm like, no, I have to. It's my plan. She's like, you should really rest. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm going to rest. And I think I got 8.5 last night, and which is great. It's never over 7.
That's crazy.
Like, let's go. Yeah. So I have tons of energy for tonight, and the energy drinks obviously help. But
awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Honestly, having 8.5 hours of sleep, I don't know when the last time I did that was, but I'm hoping soon.
You're a little younger. You can push yourself through a little harder. I think.
Yeah, totally. I'll keep pushing. I'll keep trucking on for sure.
With the modeling, were you in New York at a time too?
Yeah, I was. I went to, that was also for Delane. She's she's brought me around the world, that girl. She she had some of us go for New York Fashion Week, which was crazy. That was the first show I ever walked in.
It's a big first show.
Yep. A lot of faking it once again. I did prep a little though. I went to this, it's called Coco Rocha's model camp. And it's in New York as well, which I went prior to that. And they teach you a bunch of amazing things for modeling, runway, editorial, all those kinds of things. And so I went with my friend Noah that I was telling you about earlier that does he lets me take pictures of him all the time.
Is he a model now too?
He not necessarily he should be. He's not signed by an agency or anything, but he's gonna hate me saying this, but he's a yes man, not in a bad way, not in the type of way that people have a negative idea around that word yes man. Like he's a yes man in the sense of he says yes to amazing opportunities all the time, even if they're outside of his comfort zone. Like I was saying earlier about how he would just let me put him in whatever outfit, and he just trusted his photographer.
Any tutus in there?
No tutus, not yet. I don't know if he'd let me go that far, but putting like a fake black eye on him for a boxing shoot. Like most of my shoots were based off of movies when I first started.
Okay.
I'd watch a movie, get inspired by that movie, and then think about what I would make the poster for that movie
Oh,
be.
sweet. Okay.
And so he just fit so many boxes on every kind of different person. So I did like a Peaky Blinders one with him, and I did like a boxing one with him, and Bonnie and Clyde. I would make little themes, dress him up from Value Village, and then make him pose, and he just naturally had it going on for him. But yeah, in the most positive and amazing way and powerful way, he was a yes man.
Very supportive of you then.
Yeah, very supportive of me, and in turn got opportunities of his own. So he came with me to that New York Fashion Week, or not the New York Fashion Week, the Coco Rocha Model Camp. And
did he do the camp too?
He did do the camp. Yeah. Well, I was like, you're so good at this, and let's go together, because he's like my best friend, and it was just the time of our lives. We learned a lot, and he learned a lot as well. And they taught us some amazing stuff that I'm not actually allowed to talk about. Okay. But it was great.
You have some new skills from it that you can't talk about. You have to kill me.
Yeah, I'd have to kill you. No, they will come after me. So I went home from that, and then 2 months later went to New York again with Delane, and felt a lot more prepared, but still terrified, because it's New York Fashion Week, and you're like in the city. And
how old are you then?
20, I think, or 19 or 20. Can't remember. It was like 2022. So,
okay, 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
And that was my first walk. It was an amazing experience. Me and Delane and our friend Hannah and Emily, they're all from Kamloops as well. And when we came home from the trip on the airplane, I remember they had a little announcement on the airplane for all of us.
That's cool.
And they named us all, and it was really cute. It was an amazing experience.
What was it like stepping onto that stage for the first time, being brand new to it all? And
beats me. I blacked out. Like, I don't know. That was like really behind stage. It was super chaotic. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is so fast paced, and not what you would expect the organization to be like in New York Fashion Week. For the level it is, you would probably think it's very put together, and it's not. It's crazy, and not in necessarily a bad way. I just mean that industry is so chaotic. Mm-hmm. At all points. They have people doing this and people doing that, and you get sent from one room to another. It's a lot of hurry, 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 and wait, and then hurry, 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 and wait. And so once we were backstage finally in the lineup, it was all nerves. You're like concerned what you're going to walk like, what you're going to do, hold your breath, put your shoulders back, do the whole thing. And then you get on stage, and everything you ever learned out the door. And I don't remember a thing. I actually can't remember anything from the point I got onto the stage until the very end of the stage. It was just a bunch of flashing lights, because it's just the cameras going off. And then all I remember is walking off the stage, and nothing in between. And then after, just being super out of breath, like
probably held your breath the whole entire time.
I did. I think I held my breath the whole time. That's why you blacked out. Yeah, probably. I had no oxygen in my brain. So, it was really crazy. But I loved it though, still. And so I did it again in Vancouver. That time I remembered.
Yeah. What was your biggest takeaway or learning experience from being in New York Fashion Week?
I think that one, my biggest takeaway was the idea of putting yourself out there when you don't know what it's going to be like. Because, I could have tripped, anything, it's like just putting yourself in a position that you're not comfortable in. And then also, I would say, taking all the opportunities you can to meet the people that are working on your hair and your makeup. Like those people, you don't really necessarily think about making friends with them in the moment, because you're more concerned about the people in the audience that are watching you, or who they could be and how that could further your career, but it's oftentimes the people that are within the same industry of you, like the makeup artists and the hair, that you want to take time to get to know, because they have really cool stories for one, but they're also people that know people, and like you all can benefit from each other. And there's like a big community that I think gets missed in that part of the behind the scenes.
You never know who you're going to meet or bump into that might be your, big break, right?
Yeah, especially in New York. Oh my goodness, it's like full of people with dreams. It's crazy.
Big Apple, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
City that never sleeps.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so cool.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself a risk taker then? It doesn't seem like you shy away from any challenges.
No, I definitely take risks. I think that they're thought out risks, but they're still risky.
Calculated?
They're calculated. Like I when I got the job for Underdog, which is a TV show that's out now, I was very scared because I was going to have to basically stop working as a photographer for a while because you don't have the time when you work on TV to do two jobs. You have to, it's like 15-hour days, 2 weeks on, so 2 weeks off, you get a little bit of time. But during those 2 weeks, you can't do anything else. And so it was very scary for me to take that time away from a career that I've built for myself. And it's still within the realm of my career, but it's different. And so it was calculated, but I figured it would probably be a good thing to do. And so I just try and take all the jobs I can get, really, for all the experience. And that comes with risk. And I don't know, it's kind of fun.
What was it like working on Underdog with Dale?
Oh, yeah. Dale's awesome. Honestly, the whole crew made it very, very amazing. They're an incredible, incredible team to work with. The show itself was quite hard to film because, Yeah,
I watched the first episode last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was cool when he's with Mike and they're going down the slope and Mike showing like the traversing skills.
Yes.
And I was like, it was like fucking steep, hey?
It was really steep. You'd be surprised how long that actually took to do and then how much of it they used. When I'm watching it back, I'm like, we were out there for like 16 hours and they only used 10 minutes. It's like heart-wrenching to see it, but I know it's all for good TV. But yeah, the show was really cool. The process of working on that show was, I'd never like picked up a video camera in my life before. And they sent me the information I needed to know the night before about the camera that I had never touched. And I spent the entire night, I didn't sleep. I spent the whole night learning. I was going to say,
you probably didn't sleep.
No, not at all. Yeah. Whole night learning every single thing I could know possible about that camera. But they still hadn't told me that I was filming who I was filming. And so Dale has dwarfism. And so I think he's 4'2". And so this camera is heavy, right? It's heavy on your shoulder, and never mind standing. But when I got there and they introduced me to Dale and I put the camera on my shoulder, I didn't realize I also had to hold that on my shoulders and then squat.
I was going to say, you had to get low
and
then.
Walking like that too. It was, I don't know what happened. I went home and I was like butchered that, not getting the job. And I actually didn't get the job at first. They did hire somebody else. I don't know what happened, but they called me up maybe a week after, and going back to being like a nice person and a personality hire, they told me that they just needed someone behind the camera that can keep the energy of the cast up and keep them laughing and keep them happy. And I mean, that was like a huge compliment to me. I wasn't expecting anything. And for someone to say something so nice about your personality and like not even worry about the actual skill set that you have, because my footage did not look good. They hired me for that. And then we all just became really close on the set. And I mean, my skill set progressed later moving forward. But
well, I can attest to you being behind the camera and having that energy when we were filming with Tyra that one day, and you're like, smiles everyone, and you're trying to clapping and keeping everyone kind of in the spirit. So I could see, especially on a show like that, when you're out in the elements and it's 16 hours and it's always like, okay, we got to do it again and keep the smile up. And if the person behind the camera is kind of a bit of a drag, it's going to bring the energy down.
Totally. It really does affect how your cast is, especially, I mean, obviously if they're trained actors, it doesn't matter. There's not really much like communication between camera operators and the actors.
They can just put it on.
Yeah, they just put it on. But this is a reality show, and they're not trained actors. They're real people with real lives and real feelings. So when something's bugging them, it bugs them on the camera, and that shows. And so you have to really try and up the spirits. But yeah, the director Darren on the show, he was incredible for that. That's where I learned that from. He like taught me so well and kept everybody happy all the time. Yeah.
What was the best part about working on that show? It looks like it was a lot of fun.
It was. I would say the connection between the crew was the best part, and the stories were very fun. So there was always something that would like happen, and that's, I guess, part of why the show worked really well, was because all those little things that happened in the show like happened, and it was something new every day, and we had to figure out how to fix it, and that's very entertaining to like watch back, because if everything goes right all the time, there's no good TV, you know. Yeah. So that, I would say, was like a really awesome experience working on that show. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, when I was watching it, you could really feel like the energy between like Dale and Avery, and it's you know when you're watching like bloopers from movies and stuff, and it's all improv and it's all this off the cuff. Everything there is off the cuff, and it all feels so natural, because it is, and it adds to the show for sure.
Totally. I wish we were allowed to add like bloopers into reality shows, but we're not. But I mean, like obviously there's like pieces of things that don't get put in, right? Where like someone messes something up that they said, and then you have to like just move forward. But those like pieces that get messed up or something that get cut out, there's so many funny ones that we've all heard, but we're not allowed to like put out. But yeah, I
can only imagine, like I've seen lots of Rust Valley Restorers. I can only imagine with like Avery and Mike, and I would imagine they toned it down a little bit for the show, because they kind of feel like they've known each other for a long time, but I feel like some of the banter they would have might not be for TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They definitely tried, I think, to make Underdog a bit more family friendly. Not that Rust Valley's not family friendly, but I think they tried to make it a little bit tamer than Rust Valley and the banter between them in that show.
Well, they're trying to showcase Dale and his son, right?
Exactly. The show is mainly about Dale living life and working through the challenges of having dwarfism, and then trying to make like the best life he can for his son, Cooper.
Yeah, he's definitely someone that's, name of the podcast, You Should Quit, Real Stories with Those Who Refuse to. And that's a guy who fucking refused to give up.
100%. It really worked out for him. And he's like the best representation of just pushing through and doing the best you can do under any circumstance. Like then you should quit. Like you were saying, like I don't know how he does it. It's so impressive to me. Yeah. Seriously crazy.
Have you had a moment when you were like, fuck, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should go back to school, or like you should quit moment?
I did go back to school, but I didn't last very long. I went back to school because I just figured in the Canadian education system, I feel that so many of people my generation took high school for granted. I don't know if that's every generation, and everyone just kind of is like, meh, about high school.
Just coast through.
Yeah, coast through and does what...
C's get degrees.
Yeah, right? Like, just do what you can do, you know? And I had that mindset in high school too, I think. And I could have done way better than I did. But I think I took it for granted, like free education. It's crazy. And especially nowadays with the types of classes that high schools have, it's so different than even what it was when I was in high school, which was only 5 years ago.
Or when I was in high school.
Yeah. What was it like for you in high school? Like, what kind of classes? Was it pretty, like, a strict regimen, like math, science?
Yeah. I grew up north in Terrace. So we had our high school was split. There's 8 through 10, and then there was 11, 12. So our high school had like 11, 12 had like 250 students. So not many options. You could do metalwork or automotive and you could take French. That was the only language offered. And there was theater and lots of, PE style classes. But that was about it. There wasn't that many choices. And I definitely did the coasting. And I remember someone called me stupid or something. And I was like, I'm not stupid. I'm like, I just don't want to be here. I don't care. And they're like, yeah, show me. So I was like, okay. So then for that semester, I went and got straight A's.
Hey.
And I'm like, I can do this. I don't want to pay attention in English class. I don't want to read The Great Gatsby. It's literally classic, but I'm like, it's boring to me. Like it doesn't pull my attention. But I went out and I got straight A's. I'm like, look, I can do it. I'm choosing not to.
You just wanted to prove a point.
Yeah, and
you
I did.
Like, I can do that. Don't worry.
It wasn't that hard for me. Even in like university, I went to university, and you're talking about the Canadian education system. University is kind of what we're indoctrinated, like we're supposed to do. You go to high school, you go to university, you get a job that you're going to live and die in. You get married, you have a house, you have kids, and then guess what? You're in the casket.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole conversation with people is about in the podcast. It's people that said, fuck that system. I'm going to go and take those risks that I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree with don't agree with the idea of you just go and you get your university, your job, and then you're married and then you're dead. And I think that there's like so much more in life, and there's also no right way to like necessarily make a bunch of money, right? Like there's not one way. You don't have to get a university degree to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, it's if you're smart enough and you put your head down and you work hard enough when you're young, then I think that you can do that in all sorts of ways, especially nowadays with like media and advertising, and there's so many little jobs that you didn't even know existed that make so much money. It's crazy. But I kind of realized that after going to university. I went because I wanted to take courses I was interested in, because I took high school for granted. And like I was saying, with the choices we had in high school, like we had music and video production, and we had all these crazy free classes that I just wish I listened to my parents when they said, this is like this is why we're in Canada. Like this is an amazing opportunity for people. You have free education. Don't take it for granted. And I did. And so I wanted to take classes I enjoyed in university. So I took did one semester, and that satisfied me enough. I was like, I don't need to go get a degree or a diploma. I just wanted to do it because I wanted to do it. I wasn't doing it because this job needed me to or anything, because I knew I wasn't gonna. Every time someone was like, you need to go to school, you need to get a degree, what if, I always pushed back and was like, there is no what if. Like, this is my job.
You should quit your photography and go do what everyone else is doing.
I was like, absolutely not. It's a part of me. I can't quit. I can't even imagine myself retiring from the idea of being a creative. I can imagine myself retiring from the business aspect and the transactional aspect of being a photographer, videographer, virtual assistant with creative work, marketing, whatever. But I could not imagine the idea of not doing something creative in my life. I could never just retire and do nothing, Yeah.
I want to go back to something that I disagree with what you said
You
about. Said you had these opportunities in high school and you're kind of like kicking yourself for not taking them.
Yeah.
But in life, you don't learn from your successes. You learn from things that you struggled with. So looking back, and I didn't have as many opportunities in high school with the limited selection of courses that we had, but with what you had, and you're like, fuck, I wish I would have taken video production and all this kind of stuff. But because you didn't do that, you probably have more of a drive to push yourself in that now, because you passed on those opportunities before, and now you're like, I'm not going to let something else pass me by because I'm going to coast. Yeah.
No, that's a good point you make. I think maybe if I was in those classes specifically, I might have, quit and not liked it at that point and thought, it's not for me, and then not pursued it later in life.
Or it's not the time for you.
Or it's not the time for me.
You dropped out of the photography class, right?
Yeah, exactly. It just wasn't the time that I needed it to be, even though it's like instilled into me to be creative. It wasn't the right time. But I still do think that I wish that I paid more attention in high school. I think that if I had paid more attention in high school, not even about the grades or anything, just like having the knowledge just for myself of like, there's things that, you know, just like simple things like geography, things like that. I'm like, oh, I wish I was just like better at that kind of stuff, but it's not really that important. I just think it's cool that we have a free education system for young people, and that it's unfortunate it's just for young people, high school, and that's the free part. I feel like university should be free as well, because that's when you start actually being interested and having passions. And nobody who's 12 and 13 cares about high school really, right? No. So it's like they're not gonna not take it for granted, you know.
But being at the age that you are and having the ability to look back and realize what you missed on, you're already ahead of so many other people.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to look back at your life, and I don't think it's important. I don't think you should regret necessarily, but I think it's good to look at like not where things went wrong, but like where things could have been different and like improve based off of those decisions, you know, just like constantly evolving.
Yeah. How would you say you live your life now differently looking back to high school to make sure you're taking advantage of those opportunities?
That's a good question.
I'm full of them.
Let me think about that for a second.
ChatGPT didn't tell you that one.
No, it didn't. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I'll rephrase it as well. So in high school, you coast by, you didn't take advantage of the opportunities, and now looking back, you're like, fuck, I wish I had taken advantage of those. What do you do differently now to make sure that you are taking advantage and living the kind of the life that you're choosing to?
I think it's important for a lot of people to do what you're interested in. I don't think many people actually pursue the careers that they like dreamed of having. A lot of people pursue the careers that they figured would make them the most money, or what their parents wanted them to do, or just like what they thought they would do, you know. And I think that's what helped me with not just coasting through and having opportunities that I've missed, that I regret not taking, because I'm doing something I love to do. And so every single minute of the path is like so passionate for me that there couldn't possibly be a way for me to just coast through it. And I think that a lot of people should be like that.
Was there a specific moment when you kind of had that mindset shift? Was there an event that happened, or just sort of gradual over time?
I think just gradually over time as it became more of a reality of a job and not just a hobby. It was like, don't mess this one up now, because like you're doing what you always thought you would be doing, like deep down, and you're doing what you want to do. And so how could you let that one slide, you know? So I think just over time, it wasn't like one event that happened that made me think I can't mess this up. I have to, you know, it was just a gradually over the time type of thing.
Do you have a goal of where you want to kind of get to?
So many different ones. I don't have one specific goal yet, because I haven't tried everything yet. Okay. And I think that once I feel satisfied with all the directions my job could go in, and I've tried them all, then I can own in on one. So I've done photography for, I guess, 5 years now, like professionally. And that now I've done videography for a year as a camera operator, and I'm hoping that within that job, it'll lead me potentially to producing or directing of some kind. Yeah. I want to try that. And then I'm also working for OE Media right now as well, and he's got me doing virtual assisting, so I'm helping with building like documents for them, so more of the business side of things. And then I also do events at Ninth Lab, and I help with the marketing and planning and photography for their events, and just like the aspect of an event. And I enjoy that too. So there's so many different routes that this job can take you down, and I think it's just important to try them all before you decide on which one. There's so much time, you know.
So you feel that you haven't really had that experience yet in any one particular aspect of the videography world that you're like, that's it?
The thing is, I think I've had too many where I'm like, that's it. You know, I think that about almost every job I get. There's a new spark. There's a new excitement. And it's just about picking one, I guess, at this point. But I feel there's so much time. I have so much time. I don't have to pick just one just yet. Yeah. Because... yeah, so far everything I've done, I've loved so much. So I'm quite happy, I think, no matter where I end up in a creative industry. As long as I'm being creative, I think I'm going to be pretty happy. Okay. Yeah, it's more about just what's going to make me money, but also make me feel content and fulfilled.
Still fill your cup.
Yeah, I think filling your cup is so important in life. Yeah, I don't know. What fills your cup?
A guest had said this to me a couple episodes ago, and it's someone very important in his life who had passed away had said to him, as soon as you're satisfied doing something, you're not going to see a point in doing it anymore. So, and that really resonated with me because I've done so many things where I go all in and I get to that point and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Yeah. I don't need to do that anymore. And those things become like your identity. So I always have to kind of leapfrog from one thing to another. So filling my cup would be, I guess would boil down to like always learning. Yeah. Like I love things that I don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's super interesting. I feel that's like a very smart way to live your life is to always be wanting to learn new things.
Yeah. I've been asked it a lot, so the answer comes out a lot better than the first time I was asked it. But yeah, that's a new one for me saying, like, it's the learning aspect of it. I love things I love a challenge. That's probably even more. I love the hard things.
Well, that probably makes podcasts really interesting for you then, because you're learning about a new person every time they come on your podcast. Yeah. So you're kind of opening up those doors to learning by like every time you do another podcast.
Well, that's like we were sending some messages back and forth. I'm like, I don't want to know too much.
I know.
I'm like, I want to know, like I say, hey, is there anything particular you want me to bring up? And you're like, yeah, I was on this TV show. I helped with the production on that. So I watched the first episode last night, and I look through if they have a social media following. I look through like your Instagram and stuff. So I have a little bit of information, but I don't want to know your whole life story. Yeah. Because my whole thing is, when you're saying things like you brought up the fashion week and stuff, and I'm naturally a very curious person, if I'm curious about it and I have a question about it, the listeners, they're going to be curious about it too. So by not knowing very much about you and what you've done in your life and with work, when those questions come up, they're naturally curious questions. And that's how I kind of come about the whole style of the show.
Yeah, super cool, honestly. It's the part that had me nervous was naturally, you're like your worst critic. And so I'm thinking to myself, no one's going to want to hear what I have to say. Like, I'm not going to be able to watch this back, right? Like, just to hear myself be asked questions and talk about myself. So my biggest thing was like feeling worried that I wasn't going to have questions to ask you or how you wanted it to go that way. Or like, is it just going to be you asking me questions and me having to answer, and having the thought process of that no one actually... why would anyone want to hear what I have to say, But well, it's cool to hear you say that. They're like naturally curious questions that come from you.
I think a lot of people will want to hear what you have to say. That's cool. You're young. You found a passion at a young age. You had these opportunities that you didn't pass up. I know a lot of, especially in today's day and age with social media, and there's the darker side of it that a lot of young men and a lot of young women need very positive influences to follow and to learn from. So someone else who's out there, maybe they're 19, 20, 21, 22, like yourself, and they're like, fuck, I want to do this thing, but I'm supposed to go to school and stuff. And then they come across this, and then they look at what you've done on your Instagram, and like, she's a model, and she filmed on this TV show, and she's done all this. She's like, I can go out and take that risk too.
That is a good point. That is true. That's like one thing that I always try and tell people when they're in a place of creativity or wanting to do a job of some kind that's not necessarily what they were supposed to be doing, is that, well, one, you have to be like super passionate about it for it to work, and to not go down the route of what society tells you to go down. But it's so possible and so much easier to do than you would think, especially if you're just a well sociable, nice person. It really sets you apart from a lot of people. It's wild how many people I've met that just don't have those social skills, that you just don't seem to, like, you don't get why they don't have them, you know, like the back and forth communication or something like that, or just like politeness. Never understood when people are just rude, or how they've made it to where they've made it by being that rude.
Doesn't cost you anything to be kind.
Yeah, 100%. I am so about kill 'em with kindness. Super about that. If somebody is like really not nice to me or something, I've had an experience at a bar here. I was out one night and somebody didn't seem to like me very much, and just saying some rude things, and, you know, not really looking at me when there's like a conversation between like me and another person. They wouldn't, you know, whatever. I went out of my way I was like, I'm going to buy them a drink. And so I bought them a drink, gave them the drink. And ever since then, every time I see them in public, I like go out of my way to say hi. I go to my way to wave at them. And maybe that's just me being like, can't handle not being liked. But I was so determined to just make this person feel like we don't need to have an issue. There's no reason to. We're A-okay. It doesn't affect each other's lives if we're in it or not in it. So let's just be like civil and nice. So I think that by pushing kindness on people is like always the way to go.
The way I like to look at it is, someone's rude to you, or like your experience there, they're not making eye contact, talking away from you. You never know what's going on in another person's life. So you could be on the street and you hold that door open for someone, or someone's walking down the street and you give them a smile. You don't know if that person walking down the street, if they have agoraphobia and they're afraid to go outside, and that's the first time they've been outside in a month, and you smiled at them and they haven't seen a human face in a month. And all it is, my big fucking toothy smile. Yeah. Like, and it brightens their day. So you never know what's going on in someone's life. So it doesn't cost you anything just to, even if to fake it, put a smile on, be like, you know, it's going to be okay. You don't have to say that to them, but you don't need to be a dick.
No, 100%. It's super avoidable to be rude to people, you know. I think that a lot of people go through a lot of things and they don't like to talk about it. So having a stranger be kind to them sometimes is just exactly what they needed.
Yeah. In your industry, especially on like Underdog, is it predominantly males?
Yeah.
What's it like being a young woman in a predominantly male industry?
I feel, well, I never have to lift anything too heavy, which is nice.
Just the camera?
Love that. Just the camera. No.
Were you the shortest on there too? Is that why they made you get down low as well?
No, we all had to. Like, we all have to get onto like Dale's height sometimes for certain shots. But luckily they ended up sticking me with a camera that's like, you hold it in front of you. Yeah. It's a FX30. And that's what the camera is called. Yep. So it's more similar to like one of the Sonys that you have here. Yep. So it was much easier for me to film. But they stuck with the boys stuck with the FS7s, which were those like big ones on the shoulder, which I've used a couple times, but very impressive that they can do that. But yes, I'm quite used to it though. The whole industry I'm in, other than the fashion industry with Delane and the modeling, but the whole industry that I've been in with photography, even fashion photographers, I find are oftentimes male, just constantly surrounded by men. But it doesn't make much of a difference to me. I feel so far I've maybe been lucky where they've included me just as kind of how they would treat a man, they treat me, which I think is fair, and I like that, and it's all okay. Yeah, it's how it should be. It's just treat me the way that you would treat anyone else, and I'm okay with that. And I don't expect any special treatment because I'm a woman or anything like that, other than sometimes picking things up that's too heavy. But other than that, I kind of have just, I've gotten used to it. I haven't even really thought about it that much when you bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I am. But one thing that I have done, and that I've appreciated my serving jobs that I do sometimes, is I do get to surround myself occasionally with women my own age, which is really nice. There are times, I guess, on the friendship level that is a harder barrier, because you're there and you get along with everyone, right? Yeah. But you are sitting there like as a 22-year-old girl with 50-year-old men, which is like fine. But then when you think about it, it's like you're not going to like make friendships with these 50-year-old men with like wives and like families and be like, you want to go get a beer later? Yeah. Like that just doesn't happen, right? So I feel it's important to have it's really important to have your own friendships like outside of work, because I think a lot of people, they get so intertwined with work and social life, especially doing a job that takes up 95% of your time, that you just end up, it can become very lonely if you don't have your own friends. So I think that was one thing that I figured out pretty quickly, was when I started this job, was to not necessarily take time to constantly be like going out or playing or whatever, but take time to have a social connection with some people my own age, whether that be a man or a woman, just someone that I can actually have like a real friendship and connection with on a deeper level. Because you can get wrapped up in work pretty quick, and you can lose some friends pretty fast that way.
What advice would you give another young woman about wanting to pursue a career that's predominantly males in the industry?
I would just tell them to go into it without expecting anything. Don't expect special treatment, but also don't necessarily expect to be treated exactly how they would treat a man, because every single person is different in that industry. I've only had good experiences so far, but I've heard a lot of people with experiences that maybe the man was a little bit sexist or aggressive. That happens a lot in this type of industry. The most important thing is to make sure that you have a good support system, friends and family, because of how busy it can get, but also don't go into it with any expectations at all. No expectations at all. You just go into it, and the only thing you can do is be your best self, be nice, listen, work as hard as you can work, and that's all you can really do.
With having no expectations, is that coming from experience? Did you go into maybe the underdog job and have some expectations that were proven wrong?
No, I think I went into it with no expectations, which is why it made it easier for me. I didn't expect them to like me or to give me the job, or even when I did start working, I didn't expect them to, how would I explain this? I feel oftentimes as like a grown man, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not a grown man, but oftentimes as a grown man, if you're working with a young 20-year-old girl and there's like some dangerous aspect of the job, you're gonna like protect almost and like do the job instead. And they did an amazing job of making sure I was safe, but they didn't not make me do it. You know, I still did the job. They still wanted me to get the job done. They made sure I was safe, but they also made sure everyone else was safe. Yeah. It was no different. And so I think if I were to go in with expectations of like, well, why am I doing this? I'm like not as strong as you, or then I would have maybe had a bit of like, it just would have been a worse attitude, and it would have made the day harder. It would have made the relationships not as great as they were. We all had like great banter between each other, and I think that was also just because I never took anything to heart. Sometimes boys can joke a bit harsher or differently than how women joke, and just like not taking anything to heart is really important, because like there's a lot of that goes on there, and it's just all fun and games. So.
Yeah, guys love to put each other down, and it doesn't mean anything.
No. Yeah, you just have to, that's one thing. You got to like just learn how to take the punches and like sometimes punch back, not literally, not physically. But if I was to tell like a younger girl going into this industry, just you have to be the kind of person that can go along with it, you know, in as long as everything is like appropriate.
Course.
To go along with it. Just do your job the best you can do it, and have no expectations in how you're going to be treated.
After that job, did you find the way you spoke change at all from being around the rough and tough guys?
Honestly, no. To be honest, I think that my friends are worse potty mouths than like them. But
have you always had easy time getting along with guys, or a worse time getting along with girls?
No worse time or easy time. Like, I have an amazing group of girlfriends that I feel so lucky to be like to still have. I've been friends with them for as long as I can remember, like beginning of high school and then some prior to that. But I also grew up with boys. My mom used to take care of kids growing up. Like, she was like a nanny basically. And so there was two boys that she took care of pretty frequently, and they were like my best friends, my brothers growing up basically. And most of my friends growing up, just through family friends, I had like boy cousins, like boy everything. So I was around that a lot. And then my dad has set like an amazing example for like what a man is. So I've always felt very comfortable around like the male presence, I guess. I don't feel weird about it or anything. And, but I also don't feel weird about like women. I feel it's I get along really well with both, and I can cooperate really well with both, not one more than the other. But yeah, I definitely have had amazing male figures in my life growing up. So I think it's made me feel like a warmer connection to men in general.
Okay. Were your parents a pretty big influence on your life?
Yes. Yeah. I love my parents. They are like what I aspire to be when it comes to like relationships. I look at them, and the love they have for each other is all I could ever ask for. They've been an amazing representation of all the good things in life that could possibly have been given to me. I'm so fortunate. They always had, the one thing that correlates to my job is they always had the video camera out. My whole life, like if you were to look back at all of my dad's videos, you could literally make like a play-by-play of my life up until this point now.
That's awesome.
And yeah, which is great. And it's like, I want to do that for my kids when I have kids one day. But they were super supportive. They always kind of let me be me, you know, and it took a long time, especially going back to the ADHD stuff, took a long time for them to get that part. There was always fighting about keeping your room clean and
never
getting
clean.
Never ever. And like, Nikki, why are there clothes on the stairs again? And like, get your homework done. And, you know, all the things that sound, I guess, normal for a teenager, but it was like more for us. It took them a long time. And like after high school, I guess that it kind of clicked. It was like, okay, something's actually different here. But nevertheless, always let me be me. They were constantly supportive, and I was super fortunate enough that they, like my older brother is 18 years older than me.
I was going to ask if you were an only sibling, but actually, no, you mentioned your younger brother earlier.
Yes, but he's not necessarily blood related. So it's like a weird little mixed family we have. Okay. I have my older half brother, who's my dad's kid. He's 18 years older. And then there's me. And then when I was about 16, my mom took up this nannying job that became basically like live-in nanny, but he lived with us. So from the age of 8 to probably 13, he lived with us, and still, my mom still works for them. He's just like older now, can take care of himself. So he has his own little life. But I call him my brother because he lived with me for 8 years. Of course. So he's my brother to me, and their family to me. So I kind of experienced all. I experienced having an older brother, being an only child, and then also having a little brother. And basically, because I got to have a little bit of that only child life, my parents got to put a lot of their attention, I guess, onto me. And so I got a lot of opportunities that I was hoping to get in life out of that. When I told them I didn't want to go to university, it was hard for them because they had saved up their whole lives to send me to university. And that was a hard one for them to hear, but they still that supported me and allowed me to, you know, they could have said, you know, okay, well, if you're not going to university, you need to pay rent then, or you're moving out, you know, once I was 18. But it was, we're never going to kick you out, like, ever. And as long as you're working at something, you can live here for free. And whatever the money that we saved up for you, like, you can have it and do what you need to do with it for your career, and you can use it on whatever you decide your career is going to be. I know, it was crazy, honestly. I don't know how I got so lucky, but they sent me to that Coca model camp, which was not cheap. That was, I think, probably it's like $3,000 to go, and they paid for it to send me, which, fortunate, not many people get to do that or have the privilege of being able to do that. But, like, we're not super well off or anything, right? It's just they spent their whole lives saving up for me. So it was like, well, gotta do something with this money. And
support you and what you want to do.
And what I want to do. And that was, like, the biggest thing is they just always told me to keep going and to take the jobs. And it was never, that's not a good idea. Like, that's not going to happen for you, you know? My dad's favorite saying, and it puts an ease on me, which is weird because what I'm about to say sounds like so much pressure, but it's just he has no concerns to the point where he just knows I'm going to do well and, like, just has that faith. But every time I tell him I have a new job, he just goes, just make millions, would you? And, like, that's his saying he has for me. And it just is, it puts me at ease because I'm like, he just knows it'll be okay. And he's not, I mean, he's serious, but he's not serious, you know? So, yeah, I, like, wish that upon everybody. It's, just awesome to have people like them.
Wow. I got a similar thing about what your dad says in the sense for kind of the message, like, you know, your dad knows that you're going to, like, be okay.
Yeah.
So, like, my thing in my life is everything works out for me. And I just go into that mindset with every endeavor I ever do. And I've failed at lots of stuff, but I go in thinking positive about it. I'm like, it's going to be fine. It's going to work out. And if it doesn't, then there's a lesson for me to learn from that. And then that will transpire into something else. And I'll draw on that experience later in my life so that other thing does work out.
100%. Don't you think, like, 90% of life is just mindset?
Oh, for sure.
Like, that's like a mindset thing, right? Like, somebody that has a negative half cup empty mindset doing exactly what you just explained would probably explain things on the side of, like, things don't always work out. You know, there's regret. Like, sure, things work out, but things don't really always. And it's like just being on the other side of it, being like, no, it's going to be fine. It's all going to work itself out. It's just puts you at so much ease. You know? What
you put out into the universe is going to come back to you. So if you go out with a shitty mindset and very negative, then your experiences that you have that someone with a positive mindset experiences, you're going to look at them differently, and your day's going to get worse and worse and worse. Like, someone cuts you off in traffic. Like, I get a little bit of road rage, but I'm like, maybe they're in a rush. They're late for work. They got to pick up their kid from daycare. I'm like, okay, I'll slow down.
Always a reason.
Yeah, I'm not going to honk at them and let it ruin my day.
Nope.
You can't change what happens to you. The only thing that you can change is how you react to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can only change the 50% that's your 50%. Nothing else you can control. And that's a huge thing, is, like, letting go of control is letting go of anger. It's letting go of resentment. It's just letting the world be the way it needs to be. And that's all you can really do. It's just, like, be you and be happy on your own end of things. Yeah,
wake up and go out there positively and just try and have the best day you can. And they're not all going to be good. I've had lots of shitty days, but then, you know, you go to sleep, hopefully. And
maybe.
And, you know, the next day is another page in that chapter, and you do the best with what you can for that day. Yeah.
No, someone told me, or not someone, TikTok told me.
Yeah. There's someone on TikTok.
Yeah, it was somebody on TikTok talking about romanticizing their lives and how it's, like, super important. She said when she's having a bad day, she'll wake up and pretend that she was an 80-year-old woman that just woke up and she's in her 22-year-old body again. And she's like, what would I have done with my day if I was actually an 80-year-old that just woke up with this 20-year-old's body? And your whole day is just like suddenly better because you're like appreciative of the little things that you would forget, like walking around and you would think, I don't have any back pain right now. Or, you know, like this coffee tastes so good and it's not what it tastes anymore to me because like my taste buds don't work the same, like little things like that. And it's just taking the time to appreciate all the little things in life and feel, I hate using this word, but like the main character energy.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, it's just like feeling that when the time is like in a place and time for everything, but can just really change your mindset on how life is and like the positivity of it.
Yeah, I've got an expression that I've kind of coined, and it's, or maybe someone else has before me, but I'm going to say I said it first.
Okay.
You got people, and like say for yourself, you got you didn't say you had one particular goal, but say your goal was like, I'm going to write something and I'm going to be a director. That's what's going to happen. And you're so set on that goal. It's like if you're hiking up a mountain and you're like, okay, I'm going to get to the cliff face and there's this beautiful view for my picture to be done, but it takes you 4 hours to get up there. If you're only looking at the top of that mountain, you're going to miss that butterfly that landed on that flower beside you. You're going to miss the two does that were birthed the day before and they got their wobbly legs. So if you're so hyper fixated on the end goal, you're going to miss your entire life on the way you're getting there.
Yeah, totally. The journey.
That's
like
right.
That's the original saying, right? Yeah. Like the journey, not the destination.
It's not the destination or the journey, but it's the people that you meet along the way.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like life without connection is lifeless, essentially. I think about, you know, if I was the only person left, I've literally thought about this yesterday. I was like, if I was the only person left on Earth, what would I do right now? I couldn't even
be bored.
Yeah, I'd be so bored for one. But it's like, you know, everything you do, like you do for yourself, but it affects other people. And like there's the whole butterfly effect, and like whether you say you care or not, you care about what other people think to an extent. I know you say you don't care, but like, you know, you care. If you make someone laugh, like it would make you happy, right? Like you would just be missing all those things if there was no one around. So I think it's like the people you meet in your life are so important. Like human connection is everything.
Do you find with your art, that's your way to kind of connect?
Yeah. I think it's, I mean, I find myself showing people movies and videos all the time, and I'm like, because it's like my art, right? So that's like the type of art I enjoy and appreciate, and like music and stuff. It's like I'll show someone a movie, and if they're like on their phone and not watching the movie, I'm like, get off your phone, watch the movie.
Pay
like,
attention.
yeah, I'm like, this is important. Like it's beautiful. Like watch it and understand it. So I think like that's like a way I like show my love is like by sharing my art with people. And yeah, not everyone loves it that way, but you know, then you have to love them the way that they like to show their love. It's like a give and take situation. But through my art, I think the importance of art is very prevalent in the world, whether people realize it or not.
Especially in today's day and age, there's so many dark things on the internet and in the world, events that are happening, that you need things that you can smile at.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Hope Corps?
Yeah.
TikTok thing.
No, what's his name? The comedian with the mullet.
He's so funny.
Theo Vaughn. He does a lot of like the Hope Corps stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. People like, there should be more people like him in the world. I love him so much.
He's
but
hilarious.
yeah, Hope Corps, like, I mean, he does satire Hope Corps,
Yeah.
but like the real Hope Corps videos that are like really cutesy, whatever, like just people being positive in a day. I feel like a 50-year-old mom on Facebook when I say it like this, but I just like, I'll look them up and I'll just like watch them, like how moms watch cat videos. I'll just like watch them, and it just makes my day so much better sometimes.
So from talking with you, and with conversations with other people, I try and get deep and I try and find some like dark moments, but it seems like it's been lots of rainbows and sunshine for you. What's your hard moment? Where's deep in Nikki that we can pull out and talk about?
Well, I think I have definitely, like a lot of people do feel that way with me, that everything is all happy and sunshine and rainbows. I do obviously have a lot of hard times with the ADHD and the imposter syndrome that people get in careers like this. And in the relationship aspects of my life has been very difficult with my job because I'm very work oriented. So I would say, yeah, like maintaining relationships have been very difficult for me, and that's been very hard for me to cope with. And then on top of that, with ADHD, it can be like you kind of just feel very alone sometimes with that, and not having people that don't understand it. So I mean, there are things that I struggle with for sure. But yeah, I don't know how to like discuss them without being asked questions about it.
We'll get into it. With the relationship side, is that with friends or is that with like partners?
Definitely partners. I find friends, I'm not around enough for them to see the effects of ADHD on me. Whereas, you know, there's a lot of people that would say, even just like with the interrupting thing, right? Like that you would maybe view me as like selfish or something like that. Or, you know, like I have so many thoughts that I always want to share. So I find I'll end up talking about them quite a bit and things like that. And when you're with someone every day, like a partner, it can be like a lot, or just the energy. It's just a lot, or not cleaning or something. It's like a lot for somebody not wired that way, which is like reasonable to an extent. Like I get it, but I've definitely have this thing where I'm a little bit scared of getting like really close with people because of ADHD and my job that pulls me away constantly, because it's like a safe space for me. So I tend to take really long work hours and constantly.
Workaholic?
Yeah, I'm like a workaholic.
Fill your day, yeah.
So making time, I guess, for my partners is very hard.
Your partner is the most important, biggest decision you'll ever make in your life. And I've had many relationships that didn't go so well because of the work hours and, you know, being a workaholic.
Yeah.
At times they might think I'd rather be at work than with them, but it's just kind of how we're wired. So with me, I've been with Janelle for 8.5 years now, and she put up with me for a long time, and she loves me for who I am, but it's about finding someone that supports how I like to call with the ADHD and how hard we want to work. It's being driven, very driven. They need to understand that the way you're wired is you want to work that 16-hour day. Lots of people don't want to work at all, but you want to keep busy and you want to hone your craft. So it's all about finding that partner who loves you for who you are and actually encourages how driven you are, opposed to like a partner should help you up, not hold you down.
100%. Yeah, I think that's like that'll be a very hard thing to find right now for me, especially because I'm just like so driven with myself, and being on my own right now is a very important thing for me. I feel I've been in like a lot of relationships growing up, and I feel I haven't had a lot of time to be completely on my own and discover who I am as an individual. And so I'm trying to take the time to do that, and hopefully with that, understanding myself better and knowing exactly what I'm looking for. So by the time that I find a husband or whatever, whenever that time may be, it'll be like the person that I like him 100% about. Like, I'm pretty sure my mom has ADHD, and she's not diagnosed or anything, but just those similarities. And the way my dad is with my mom is I could not accept any less. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm thinking that the positive side of things, but it's definitely like I've had some very hard times with that, and just not understanding myself and like why I'm the way I am that way, and why it affects my relationships so bad of all kinds, whether they're platonic or not. Just once someone's very close to me, I can see that like my energy can occasionally be draining for some people. And that's very hard to like handle, I think. It's hard to hear.
Before you officially kind of knew, and then you've had some relationships and they've broken down, and you said there were some hard times, and you didn't, as you said, you're still learning yourself. Did you feel like, like, what's wrong with me? Am I broken?
Totally.
My friends are having these great experiences, and here I am, looks like I can't hold a relationship together.
Yeah, like 100%. I didn't really ever even consider that it wasn't just what's wrong with me. It was always, for me, just like in my head, what am I doing wrong? Mm-hmm. Why am I like this? Why can't I remember to do things, like to do these things that I'm supposed to be doing in relationships, So I think, it was a constant confusion that I was in, mm-hmm. a cloud over my head always. And now that I'm like not in anything, I feel a little bit not like better or anything. I'm understanding myself more, mm-hmm. and like clearer about why those things were happening, Yeah.
And I mean, you are quite young still.
Yeah, I know. It's not like, but I feel it's important to like have the conversation though, because I think there's probably a lot of people that have ADHD that are young that mm-hmm. struggle in relationships that they don't get why either. And not the victim thing, what's the other one? You're not the victim, but you're the
victor.
The victor, I guess. Like having that is like a constant thing. I always feel like it's my fault, mm-hmm. I think, which is not even just in relationships, but like in workplaces and stuff too. Like I always think it's my fault because I'm conditioned to understand that I'm forgetful and I'm disorganized. And so even if somebody else messes something up, I immediately think I must have forgotten to do it, or I must have been the cause of their mess up because I didn't have it organized or something. So there's like that imposter syndrome of like, why am I where I am? Like I don't really deserve to be where I am, because sometimes that it's all been people skills and a creative eye, and not necessarily like the actual skill set you're supposed to have for the job, because I'm quite disorganized and a little bit scatterbrained at times. I mean, there's ways to manage it though, but
I just recently had a pretty low moment for myself. It don't happen very often. I'm pretty good at uplifting myself, but it was actually just this past weekend, and I've got a friend, he lives out east, and I kind of text him when I need that like bit of motivation, like, hey man, you're doing like a great job. And I was chatting to him about some stuff, and I'm like, I feel like, why am I here? Like, is it all going to go away? I'm like, basically like imposter syndrome. And he just texted back. It's super simple. He's like, if you're feeling imposter syndrome, it means you're doing something right. It means you're in a place that you probably didn't think you could get to. So you're feeling like it could be all pulled away. But if you're feeling imposter system, it means you've elevated yourself up, and you're like, why do I have this? Why am I being successful? And it's like, well, you've put the fucking work in. You might have had these natures for yourself, these natural talents and an eye for the camera, but if you compared yourself now to when you first got that camera 5 years ago, do you have the same skills now as back then? No.
Yeah.
So you put the time in, you put the work in, you have these things because of the actions that you've chosen to do, opposed to just like pick it up, take some shots, and like, I'm a professional now. It's like, no, you didn't just do photo shoots. You edited on your own. You took your own pictures. You dressed Noah up 1,000 times, right? You put that time in. So you need to take those moments when you feel that imposter. I'm like, I'm here because I got myself here. I do deserve the things. I people say it, I hate to say it too, but it's like, I deserve to be happy.
It's true though. It is true. Everyone deserves to be happy, however you make it happen for yourself. Yeah. No, I think you make a really good point when you say like that you have things that could be taken away, and the reason you have those things are because you work to get those things, like where you're at, right? And I think I forget that a lot of the time. I forget that I only feel this way because I'm in a position of being further than I was before, which is important to remember.
And it wasn't handed to you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't handed. I do feel I've been fortunate in ways. Like, I think I've been, because I've had supportive parents and I've had a good community, which I think is important to have in the industry I'm in, I've been able to flourish. But I definitely have worked for where I've gotten to. It has not all just been, it hasn't been a cakewalk per se. But
even with your parents sending you to the school in New York, what if you were a shitty teenager and you're like rebellious and you're like, fuck you, mom, fuck you, dad, and you weren't this kind person? Do you think they're going to want to shell out that money for you to go there?
Nope.
So you did have these opportunities and you were in these places that you're grateful for, that your parents could help you with that. True. But you have a great mindset and they wanted to help you because of who you are. But if you were someone different...
Yeah, right? That's a good point. Yeah, it's that that mindset that you were talking about earlier about the whole it'll work out kind of thing. Having that, I think, has been like the one thing that's helped me with my imposter syndrome, is just being able to put aside all of the reasons I got to where I am and just continue to think that regardless of whatever else is going on, I'll just get to where I need to be at some point and it'll be all good and that I deserve it.
There's no top of the mountain for people like us.
Yeah.
You'll get to a point and you know who Alex Hormozy is? So he's a motivational guy. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but he says you've already accomplished the goals that you said would make you happy. So there's always another one. You'll get to the point and maybe that was in the past, you're like, hey, I want to film for a TV show. And then you've done that. And it's but there's always people like us, the driven, the workaholics, the superpower from the ADHD. You always want more. And that's something that I've asked my friend as well. I'm like, and he's wildly successful. I won't put numbers out there, but wildly successful. And I was like, man, when is enough ever, is enough ever enough in your skill development, in your financials, in your relationship? And he's like, no, man. He's like, I can't tell you anything different. He's like, for people like us, enough is never enough. There's always more. Yeah.
No, it's true. You're always wanting more and what the next thing in life is. And there's this quiz online that made me think of this. There's this quiz online and it's this guy made this album and it's all, how there's seven personality types essentially. He made a song for each personality type. And so I did the quiz and I can't remember what number it was, but the song was called, let me look it up really quick because it's really cool. It was about being hungry for the next thing constantly. And anyone that has ADHD, I feel like, will totally understand this if I could find it.
Sounds like a type A personality kind of thing.
It's by Sleeping at Last. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a great artist. So the song is 7. It was number 7. And some of the lyrics in it, they talk about...
Play it, put it in the mic.
Yeah, okay.
Let's take a little listen here.
So
wow,
I know, right? A pretty intense sum up of what we just talked about there.
My life in a nutshell, right there.
100%. And I felt like nothing had spoken to me when I heard that song. I was like, whoa, everything just makes so much sense. I had an epiphany. But yeah, it was a really cool little test my friend sent me one day and was like, which song are you? He made this specifically for all the personality types. And
I think hearing that, the first thing that pops into my mind is for anyone out there that's struggling with what they're going through, and it's I hear that, that's me in a nutshell. That's you.
Yeah.
Other people are experiencing this too.
Yeah.
You're not alone in this. It's the way you're feeling. It is normal.
Yeah. It is. It is a version of normal.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of versions, and that one, ours just has a little bit of spice to it.
Yeah. The reckless, the danger, let's make a list. Oh wait, let's go climb that mountain.
Yeah, all of it. I'm restless. I'm hungry for everything that comes next in life. I'm it just totally spoke to me. I thought it was really cool, and I thought it made me feel someone got it, know? And I think, and it was before I knew anything about ADHD or that I had it even. So it spoke spoke worlds to me. It was a great song that I love very much.
With hearing that, and so for myself, I can't get excited about things in the future because, so like we'll go to, my wife and I go on vacation. She's packed the week before.
Yeah.
She's like, when are you going to pack? Are you excited about it yet? And I'm like, no, it's a week away.
Yeah, not yet.
I'll pack the night before. And she's like, night before, she's like, are you excited? And I was like, no, like I don't feel it until I'm there.
Yeah.
With yourself. Are you like that as well?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah? In the moment?
Super, like I'll procrastinate emotions. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what that is like you're it's
a great way to put it.
Yeah. You're procrastinating how you feel. Like you're going to feel it at some point, but you don't have the time or the energy to feel those things yet because you have too many other things to worry about. So it's I'll do that with all sorts of things. It's when I was in school and studying, I would have moments of like I needed to like cry. I was like so overwhelmed and stressed, but it was like I don't have time to right now, so I'll cry about it later, and I'll procrastinate those feelings until later. And so I would like schedule a little time slot where I'm like, okay, let it out, and I would cry, and then like, okay, that's all the time you have now. Moving on. And so yeah, I definitely get like that. I'm leaving for a trip in 2 days, and.
Okay. Where are you going?
Just Banff. I've never been. And so
beautiful.
I'm so excited. I'm not a hiker, so I'm really scared. I'm going to probably die on the way up a couple mountains, but it's fine.
It's going to be cold up there.
Yes.
There'll still be snow. Make sure you pack appropriately.
Really? Okay.
Alpine
Okay,
in
I
July?
have to change everything now.
Yeah.
I was totally packed for summer, but...
At the lower altitudes it will, but in the Alpine, so bring some hiking boots.
Okay, will do. I'll make a note. But with that being said, it's a good thing that I have not packed my bag yet. Yeah. So still time. But yeah, I like haven't even had time to like get excited about it until today. I kind of started getting a little stoked on it, you know.
Yeah. Maybe because you didn't sleep last night as well.
Yeah, that could have been it too. But I guess like you just procrastinate everything, emotions.
I like that. I'm gonna steal that.
You can have it. You can have it. I didn't even know I thought that way until I said it. So,
are you going there for a work or for a shoot or just for some fun?
This is like, I try and take one trip a year. That's just like not work related because most of the trips I take are work related. So this one's a non-work trip. Okay. So I'm very excited. The last one I did was for my brother's wedding, which I still did the photos for his wedding. So still work related. Still work. But I took a month after that, and it was the first time I'd ever taken like any time for myself after 4 years of just working to chill and not think about my work, which was so hard to do. But to be fair, when I came back, I did feel very like rejuvenated. So that was good. But
I think people like us, you work so much, and like for me, I could work 7 days a week, and that's just my routine.
Totally.
So people are like, don't you need a day off? I'm like, no, this is just what I do.
Yeah, it's you. It's just a part of you. Like you don't even think of it as like I'm working.
No, I just get up and do it.
Yeah, 100%. The fact that you can get up and go to the gym though at like 4, that I couldn't. That's a you thing. That's crazy.
You can train yourself.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I won't, but I could.
Yeah. But that's if I don't work out before and I try and work out after, that's when I'm tired. And, and then that's when it's easy to skip it. But I know for myself with being in the gym since I was like 13 that if I work out, that's probably the hardest thing I'm going to do that day, and everything's better.
Oh, that's
everything's
a really nice way of thinking about it. Does it help with like your energy levels in the morning too? Because I've heard that people that start their day with a workout, they have more energy throughout the day.
I know after I work out, I leave the gym and I'm like, there's like music going, and I'm like, for the next like 3 hours, I'm fucking dialed.
Yeah, I get solid.
And like, so my favorite time of the year is summer. I hate the cold. I hate fucking snow. I hate the winter. But what I do like is that when I get up in like the winter and the fall and it's 4:30 and it's pitch black out, and there's no one else out there, and I'm driving there, and I feel like I'm like cheating time. I'm like, I'm getting so much done while the rest of the world is sleeping, but it's like dark out, and it's just makes me feel a little I love driving to the gym when it's dark out.
Yeah, it's like you get the full 24 hours of the day, you know? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good way of putting it. It's like it's a little bit of you time too before, especially because you said you have a son, right?
Two
sons.
2 boys.
Yeah, so I guess you kind of like, to get you time, you need, how old are they?
11 and 12.
Oh, okay, so they're older now. They probably do their own thing, but still, to have your own you time, you probably need.
I'm not with their mom, so they're half and half, but there's no set schedule, so they kind of come and go as they please. And I'm really lucky with them that they understand that why I'm working so hard is your parents want you to have a better life than they did.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I had a great childhood growing up, and I want to give them everything I didn't have. Yeah. And I hope that I can instill that into them so that they can keep passing that down kind of through the generations. But they understand now that they're a little older. I'm like, Dad comes home and he just worked 10 hours and he's tired, and I will give them attention, but they understand that
it's work.
Yeah, the reason that I'm doing these things is essentially for them.
For them, that's important, like, to make it known, I think. Right. And I mean, you have to work. You have to do what you have to do. And I'm sure that I'm almost positive ADHD runs in the blood, you know? I'm sure one of them will end up with the superpower too, right? And they'll do the exact same thing.
I think my younger son has it for sure.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he'll probably end up working just as much as you do and, like, look up to you because of it, you know? Be like,
hope so.
Like 100%, you know? I don't know. That's kind of how I've seen my parents. Like, my dad's a flight attendant, so he's away a lot, and he was away a lot, like, while I was growing up. But I never thought of it as a negative thing. I, like, just because the relationship was so strong, and if you have a strong relationship with your children, then, like, the work life shouldn't really affect it that much, because he was away, and I just was excited for him to come home. I wasn't mad that he was gone. I was like, he's working, and adults work. You know, that was my mindset as a kid. Adults work, and can't wait for Dad to come home, because, you know, he'd get home first night and right to bed, because he just got off, like, a 16-hour flight to Australia. So, you know, you would know Dad comes home, he goes to bed, and next morning he wakes up and he hangs out with me. And I was just excited for that. So it's like, if your relationship's good with your children and you made it known and aware that you work for them, then...
Yeah, my dad worked away too. Was a forester, so he'd be in the bush in the summers for 3-4 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And my fondest memories with him are being a little kid, and I knew when Dad came home, because he loved to cook, he'd be in the kitchen, and I'd be right there next to him as a little kid.
Yeah.
Just like trying to help him cook.
Help and cook, you know.
So I think with him being away and me growing up that way, I understood it, so I can understand it for my kids then too. Yeah,
it makes it easier for you. But then it's also nice because you get to do what you love to do as well. Like, you get to feel comfortable working long hours, you know, which I feel like I know some parents that have a lot of guilt on it, and I don't think there should be any guilt on it. Like,
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, like working, especially today, you have to work. Like, I work 4 jobs or something right now, and they all pay decent, you know, and I still am like, definitely could not have a child and support a child. So I think you definitely just gotta do what you gotta do. It's just the way of the world.
You brought it up earlier about you kind of felt selfish a little bit about, you know, having to work so much, and I felt that way, and then I kind of comes back to mindset, rephrased it in my mind, is I'm being selfish with my time, working so much, because I feel that if you're selfish enough, you can get to the point where then you can be selfless. So
that's fair.
I work so hard so that my boys can have the things that I didn't have, but I'm being selfish so that I can be selfless for them.
That's a really nice way of thinking about it, and makes me feel a lot better, actually. Like, really, like, I feel, that's kind of was my whole mindset is, you know, I'm doing what I want to do with my life right now in my 20s. This is like for me right now, in my perspective of it. I'm doing what I want to do right now in my 20s. So by the time that I have children and have a family, I know that that will, like, support what I'm doing or whatever, but I won't feel maybe like I need to take every single possible, like, like I'll feel okay with being with my family and not being gone all the time or something, because I took that time to do the things that I wanted to do. And so I'm hoping that by being selfish enough now and only thinking about me right now, while I don't have any extensions of myself in any type of way, that like by the time I have kids, I will be able to like take that step back, or like take more steps forward to make more money or something, whatever it be, just thinking about them by that point. So
this is the time that you should be really selfish with your time.
Yeah.
And even when it comes to like friendships and stuff as well, you said, I hate, main character energy, but you're young. This is the time when you should go all in, and
totally.
You could fail at something, but you're 22.
Yeah.
Like, you have the time to go all in on another thing. You should work as much as you fucking can on yourself.
Yeah.
So that when it comes to the time when you're 28 or 35 or whatever it is that you decide to have a little family of your own, like you've done it all, and you've gotten to the point where you were selfish with it, and now you can be selfless. And
I don't feel like I need to continue to like try a bunch of new things, right? Like all the time. Like I feel like I'm hoping, because right now that's all, I just want to try everything. I feel like every person in their 20s should just try everything, see what you like, see what you don't like in life, and like figure that out before you make the permanent life decisions that are like going to affect you for the rest of your life, So I think that's like a super important thing. And then hopefully by the time I have children, I'm like, I know what I want in my life, and then I'm able to give them the stability, because right now I don't want actual like stability, to be honest, at this point. Like,
you like a little bit chaos?
Yeah, well, like I want stability, like mental stability, but I don't want the stability of like a stable job, or like a stable career per se. Like I was saying earlier, I want to be able to go down a bunch of different routes and figure out what I want. I don't want anything to be permanent right now in my life. And so I think that having all that right now is healthy. And then by the time I have children, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to have that stability in my life now. But yeah, that's a long ways off anyway. So.
I think what you just said about the non-permanency with everything and trying everything and doing what you want and figuring out, that's kind of like the whole you should quit kind of thought about the podcast. It's like, go out and fucking just do the things. Like,
do it all.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Just pick up a skill, try it, fail. Like, you're going to be better off than you were before. And
totally.
They say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree?
Today?
Right now.
That's crazy you say that. Hold on. Look at my Instagram story right now. One sec. This is insane that you say that. I'm going to show the cameras this too. The tree comment, because this was 10 years. Okay, hold on. This is crazy. So this is my story that I posted today. This is my dad and it's crazy, hey? So that's my dad and me. We planted a tree 10 years ago, and that's the tree today. We took that photo today.
That's today. That's the same outfit.
That's what I'm wearing right now. Here, which camera do I show? This one? Yeah. There you go.
There it is. Or you can show that one maybe and see it better. Yeah, there you go.
Wait. See? That's a tiny little tree. There it is today. Nice big old tree today.
So that resonated with you.
It really did. When you said that, I was like, crazy. I'm like, did you look at my Instagram story before I got here?
I did not.
Wild.
I was very busy at work today.
No, so. I'm sure. I know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I totally, I agree with that. I think that's a really beautiful statement and resonates with me, obviously.
So I know you, non-permanency, like little things, a little bit chaotic.
Yes.
And you're going lots of different directions, but what's next for Nikki? What's coming up? Where do you kind of see yourself going right now?
Well, right now, we're starting. Actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Oh, if you can't say it, you can go on to something else.
Okay. There's some work coming up that is. I never thought I was going to ever be in a situation where be like, I can't talk about that. Sorry. That was kind of exciting for me. No, there's some work coming up for the winter that's going to take up most of my time. And then I also, like I was saying earlier, I just started this new gig with Tyler, OA Media, for like virtual assisting. So I'm learning a whole new buttload of online documentation forms and all that sort of stuff. So right now I think I'm quite content in Kamloops. A lot of my community is here and work, but I'm super open to the idea of traveling for work. I really like that idea.
That's a dream right there.
Yeah, it's a dream. I know. Tyler does it all the time. I'm like, take me with you. But my other boss, Jesse, from a Ninth Lab, he does a lot of events and he's very involved in the music world. And so we have a couple trips coming up planned, like November, October-ish, in England for yeah, I know, it's crazy, for some like DJ sets that he wants me to do some photos for. So there's like some traveling in the mix for my future, and I'm kind of just like rolling with the punches, seeing what's coming, taking the opportunities. I have no idea what my life will look like next year, but right now for the rest of this year, lots of moving around and traveling and busy. So yeah, just keeping busy. That's my main goal right now for me.
Speaking of music, that makes me remember something. I saw you did a photo shoot of a show with Baby Jake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so incredible. Do you know who Baby Jake is? Did you like know prior to?
Yeah, smoking cigarettes on patios.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I know. His beautiful song that I'd been listening to his music, I don't even know how long, much longer than I can remember. It's like one of my favorite songs, and I love his voice very much. I DM'd him out of a whim. I just DM'd him. I was like, saw you're coming to Vancouver. Can I take pictures of you? And he was like, sure.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
That easy.
Yeah, it was so, like, I've gone through the process of trying to reach out to, like, musicians before. I've gone through, you emailing their agents, you email them, like, sometimes you have to email the arena, like, they're not even in charge of the photographers and media. It's like Rogers Arena would be in charge. So, I've gone through all that. It's never worked. The only other time I've shot celebrity for photography was in Florida when I lived there for Stephen Marley. But that was because I was hired through like a production company that had a good name behind them. It's never just been like me, And he said yes, and I was like, sweet. I was like, okay, sounds good. Send me the tickets. Send me what I can come do. Like, what do you guys want? I usually ask what like kind of inspiration or what mood board they're like looking for, and he was like 90s, like he wanted a 90s vibe. So I was like, okay, sick. So went to Vancouver just to shoot it. I brought my friend with me because I never go to any shoots with strangers without a friend, which is another very important thing for young female photographers. Always bring somebody with you the first time you meet them. I've met you before, so didn't have to do that today. But and we got there, and usually it's very strict, like shows, like you would be escorted and you're allowed to stay for like 3 songs and then you would get escorted out. But it was super relaxed with them. They had a really great band, so we got to go behind stage and just got to like kick it with them and hang out. And I brought my little trusty 2008 camcorder that I thought, 90s. They wanted 90s, and I'm not a videographer, but who can't shoot with a camcorder? So I was like, I'll bring that. And then my camera, and I brought disposable cameras you can get at London Drugs. I was like, whatever, I'll just try it out. And we were behind stage. We were singing with them. Like, it was like all the bands before their opening acts, like the Bedheads and stuff, that we all got to sit and play guitar and just like sing together. It was so fun. And then we would go up on stage. Me and my friend kind of stayed in front of the stage, and I literally have never felt so much adrenaline, like so much like this. I think that was a moment I had where I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to do. Like, concert photography just gets me.
The energy.
It's so amazing. But yeah, they were awesome, and I still stay in contact with a couple of them from the band. Like, we're like friends, I guess, now, online friends, so it's nice to have connections down. They're all down in like LA and Nashville and stuff, so it's cool to have connections in those areas for sure. But awesome people.
Wow.
Yeah, great experience. I loved it.
What's the worst you can say? Not reply. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's
Take the
like
risk.
always. Like the amount of times that I've had people not reply to me or like read it and say no. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. The only, like, even with him before, I had messaged him prior, right? Like because I used to make music I still do, but not like for work, just like a hobby. And I remember reaching out to him when I was like 17 in DMs being like, please listen to my song. Like, I love you. It's like, anyway. And then for him to respond to my other message, I like scrolled up and was like, he read that too. And it was like terrifying, but I just figured, maybe he had seen that there was like numerous messages from me and that's why he opened it, or whatever other reason it could have been, right? So I'm like, I just always take the risk to message someone, because like, who cares? And then if you do get to meet that person later in life, or you end up messaging with them and getting work out of it, it's just a funny story at that point. Yeah. Like the previous messages you sent from 10 years prior, it's just like a good icebreaker story. So
speaking of funny stories, I think we skipped over a part of your life there, living in Florida.
I grew up, well, first off, have you ever been to Florida?
No. No East Coast for me.
What? Okay.
Nothing.
My theory is like the West Coast of Canada is better than the East Coast of Canada, but the East Coast of the States is like compared to the West Coast of the States. And I've seen both sides, so I can have that opinion on it, But yeah, Florida and like New York, all of those places on that side are just to die for. Florida in Cocoa Beach is where I lived. So it was this little surfer town. I'm super into surfing and all that kind of little cozy beach town lifestyle. My cousin and my uncle live there on my mom's side of the family. So growing up, I'd go down there quite often, like spring break. We'd always spend our spring break in Florida. And
all right,
very fun. My dad was a flight attendant,
yeah.
So we got some luck out of that, you know. And so that was a thing we did. And throughout that time, I am a very like people person, so I always wanted to make friends on the beach. Like every time I was on the beach, it's like I want to meet new people, so I'd walk up and down the beach until I'd find kids my age to hang out with. And I met this one kid actually came up to me and asked me to be in his YouTube video, and I was like, for sure, absolutely, will I ever? And so it was like skim tricks for a kiss on the cheek. And I was like, okay, we were like 13 or something. And so we did his little trick, didn't get it. So I didn't. And then
no kiss for you.
No kiss for you. And then, yeah, I was like, where can I find it? And then we stayed in touch. And then so every year I'd started going down like twice a year, and he would introduce me to like some of his friends, and then his friends and his friends. And all of those kids ended up being videographers. And so that was kind of like my very first aspect of exposure to cameras, where I was like, that's so cool. Because they were doing like flips off buildings and being boys, you know, that kind of videography. And I became really, really close with a lot of them, and it became like a really tight friend group. And two of them actually started working for this company called NPI Productions in Florida. And they asked me to come intern for them just for the month, like not a paid gig or anything, just because I couldn't get a visa if I wanted to for the States. So they just asked me to come down and basically just hang out for the summer with them and just kind of learn about about cameras. And so I did the whole thing with them, and I got to spend time with like my family and my best friends while I did it.
How old were you at the time?
I had just turned 19.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I still think about like that was one of the best years of my life, like so far. It was incredible. We did, I think, some of the coolest shoots I'd ever gotten to do. Like we shot the Special Olympics, which was like really awesome at Typhoon Lagoon in Disney, and then we shot for like we shot for Stephen Marley. We did like all those kinds of all those kinds of shoots, lots of reggae stuff.
Yeah.
It's very, very big in Florida. Reggae is huge down there. People are super into the like chillax, surfer lifestyle, which I'm super into. But yeah, and so to this day, we still stay really close. And I'm actually going to shoot a wedding in Colorado with them in September.
The Rockies.
Yeah, I've never been to Colorado, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, so it's nice having friends out there. You just get to, you could go forever without talking, and then you see them, and you're just as close.
Yeah.
Even though things change, and like most of them have kids now. It's crazy. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Older than you, or?
Well, my boss is 30, or 32 or something.
Okay.
So he just had a kid.
Yeah.
She's like 2 years old now or something. And then one of my coworkers I grew up with that I was saying got the job as well. He's 24 and he's expecting right now.
Okay.
So yeah, it's crazy. Things are changing and it's like wild, but it's super cool to watch and see how everything moves forward for them.
I think we've chinked away at the armor enough now, and tons of positive experiences. Quite the life you've had so far. Super cool.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to ask the hard one.
Okay.
You just talked about that year was probably one of your most memorable years. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to go through? I told you we would get deep.
Yeah. It all comes back to like relationship stuff when it comes to that. Cause like, I think that's just like where I struggle in life with most, to be honest. Cause all the other things so far, I don't know if it's mindset or what it is, but have been like generally decent enough for me to be okay with. But like, yeah, I think just like when I think back on my life with relationships, that's probably been like some of the experiences I've had in relationships have been really, really hard for me. And like moving forward, just like as a person with like who I am as myself is like hard to, I don't know how to word it really.
Still figuring out who you are.
Yeah, like there's just things that I feel I walked away with that I didn't necessarily need to walk away with, like of like ideas of like who I am that aren't necessarily true. I have a hard time bouncing back from those kinds of things, I think. So probably just like the words that I've heard in my life have been hard to cope with.
Okay.
Like later in my life, you know?
Still processing a few things then?
Yeah, I think that's probably like a reason I'm trying to stay single is just so I can really focus on me and not involve myself in something that's going to distract me right now. Friends as well, like platonically, like the friendships that, you know, throughout my life that didn't really work out or something like, and just like some of I think I put a lot of trust in people. And so when someone I really trust tells me something about myself that isn't true per se, it's just an opinion, I kind of identify with that after, and it's very hard for me to walk away with those things. So I have to almost reshape the idea of myself after, if that makes sense. Like evaluate who I am. And so I feel I've felt maybe a bit of an identity issue where I haven't been able to really understand who I am because I have let like negative perspectives impact me, whether that's platonic or not platonic, or even just like people online or whatever. I've definitely let negative comments impact how I view myself. So I'm trying to really work on right now just being a bit more alone, so I know who I am without any outsiders' perspectives. just like actually fully understanding myself. Yeah.
From those experiences, have you put up a lot of walls?
I think now I have. Yeah. I think I was super open before. I wasn't a very guarded person at all. I had a lot of trust to give people. And I think now I'm probably a little bit more closed off and reserved on how quickly I open up to somebody. Because like I was saying in the past, I've been super quick to just like
go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow. And I want to like be everyone's best friend. So I, tell them things about myself that like, or let them know things about myself that just like they're not at that level yet to know. And it's backfired on me before. So I think now I definitely have some walls up, which when it comes to business is a good thing. But when it comes to like the personal side of my life, it can be a bit more difficult, I think.
Well, walls don't always have to be negative, right?
Yeah.
Like you are
boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've maybe rushed into a few things before, and now that you know yourself better, and in the past you said you've given out information that they shouldn't have been privy to yet,
Yeah.
and now you know yourself better.
Yeah.
So you want to take the time to get to know that person romantically or just as a friend before you kind of give out those deeper things.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like when I allow myself to get too close to someone too quickly, I get really invested into my relationships, friendships, all that stuff. So it affects me very deeply when things aren't going well. And I'm very empathetic. So I feel a lot. I feel for other people. I feel when they're hurting. And if it's anything to do with me, I'm like, how can I fix this? Because how could I be the cause of someone's pain or something like that? So I would let it affect my like work life because I wouldn't be able to like do both at the same time. So I would put a priority on my relationships over my work. And when I say relationships, just like for future, like all, I mean like all relationships of all kinds. I would put like a priority on those. And so if something wasn't going well, I would like call in sick or I would not get work done at all. And I would have to take time apart and separate it. And until I am capable of separating those two things and being able to, put that like not on the back burner, but like go to work and be like, I'll deal with this on my personal time when I get home and not have to call in or something.
Yeah,
or like,
don't take your life to work and don't take your work home.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think until I can do that, the best thing I could do for myself is to just be like maintain the friendships I have and like have new obvious like connections and business connections and networking and such. But to keep my like circle a little bit smaller at the moment, I think is the healthiest thing I could do for myself because I've had some I have a very hard time of letting go of people that are in my life. So that's something that I really, really struggle with.
Something my mom says, and I think this applies to what you just said, never half-ass anything, always full-ass it.
Yeah.
Always 100% forward in work, in friendships, in relationships. You can't give, you always give your full self into whatever you're doing, and it's hard to learn to be able to dial that back. I'm still learning, and I'm almost 40. It's
a constant learning game, I think, and I don't think I'll ever perfect it, but it's just about getting a little bit better at it day by day, So, but I don't know, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to go through? I don't think the hardest thing for me yet has actually happened. You know what I mean? Like that. That's the hardest for now. But I mean, I'm only 22. I'm sure I'm going to have many more trials and errors to come. So, but
my hardest thing, long story short, I'm 18, head-on collision on the highway, in the hospital for a month. Guts are all fucked up. Can't eat because it's just throwing up. I lost 50 pounds.
Wow.
I had, do you know what ostomy is? So they take your small intestine and they sew it to the outside of your body, and then you shit into a bag.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I had that. I named it Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, cute. So cute.
I like to see the humor in everything. It took me 7 years to put the weight back on.
Wow.
So that was, the hardest thing for sure.
Totally. Is that why like fitness is so important to you now?
I think so. I was in really good shape before. They didn't think I would make it to the hospital, make it through the first surgery, make it through the second surgery. But because I was so fit at that time, and that's why one of the things I like to say, what I really like about the gym, it's like one of the few things where whatever you put into it, it's what you get out of it, and no one can ever take that away from you. So I think, I couldn't work out properly for a long time, and it sucked. I mean, it's a long time ago now, but fitness and routine and staying healthy, very important now.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably also feel the importance of being fit if it was taken away from you for so long, and then wanting that back too. That's a little harder than what I went through.
But like you said, you probably haven't experienced that hardest thing yet.
I hope I don't have to experience that though.
No, that's definitely way over there on the end of the
that's
spectrum.
crazy. No, definitely have not experienced that. My guts have not been all over the floor before. But mine's all just, emotional young girl stuff right now.
But I mean, emotional things can stick with you a lot longer than physical things.
True. That is true. Yeah. It's definitely a hard muscle to work out, your brain, to get it out of there, and your heart. But
brain takes longer to heal than the body.
Yeah, that's true. But
all right. I have two questions that I like to ask all the guests as we're coming to a close. As you might have noticed, I tried to pull out some harder memories for you to see the real Nikki, and you got into things like with relationships and that sort of thing. If there was a kind of a portal that opened up here and you could look back and you could see yourself at one of the end of a friendship or with a partner, and they've said some things and some things have happened and you feel like that's your identity. If you could look back and see yourself however many years ago that was, that hardest moment was, what would you say to yourself?
Oh, that you'll be all right in about like 3 days. So it'll just like nothing is too serious and nothing's too deep, and you will always get over things and you will always be okay. Yeah. I think that's probably what I would tell myself in every experience I've had that's been negative, is that you're going to get over it.
Yeah, this too shall pass.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. You're just being dramatic. Like, chill. That's probably what I would say, honestly. Yeah.
All right. The other one is same thing, but another portal opens up, and this time you're seeing into the future. Mm-hmm. And there's Nikki, let's say 20 years from now. Mm-hmm. What do you think older Nikki would say to you now?
I think she'd be singing Frank Sinatra's My Way to me and telling me that you're doing things the way you wanted to do it, and that's all you can really expect or give yourself. So that's the best thing you could give yourself, is to do life the way you wanted to. And hopefully older me is like, it's paid off. Yeah. I'm hoping we're in somewhere nice and not like on the street or something.
That gave me goosebumps. You saying like bringing up Frank Sinatra and like My Way, and it's like that's how you should live life. Yes, you're going to experience other people and the connections, and what you do affects them. But at the end of the day, this is your life to live. Yeah. Live it the way you want to.
Yeah, I think right now in my life, it's the first time I'm doing that. So I'm very excited about that. I've lived my life for other people, I think, for a long time. So
time to live happy. For you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Nikki, for all the listeners out there and those watching on YouTube, how do they find you and your craft?
You can find me on my Instagram at Nikki Summer with 2 R's at the end of summer. And it's Nikki. And what else am I on? That's basically it right now.
Instagram's the main one? Okay.
Yeah. I have a TikTok, but I'm not going to tell anybody what it is because it has nothing to do with photography. It's just me and my life.
And your dad.
And my dad. My dad's on my TikTok all the time. If you find it, you can follow me. But
I did find it.
Yeah, I saw you found it. It's not too hard to find. But yeah, but my Instagram is Nikki Summer, and that's where my professional photography page is on.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess I have one more question. Is Summer actually your last name?
Oh my gosh, it's not. It's okay. Quick little story. It's my middle name. It is my legal middle name. But my mom is like Quebecer, and they don't like take the man's last name.
Okay, yeah.
And so my dad's last name is Schlegel. Yeah. And my mom's last name's Gardner. And they didn't think they were going to have kids. And so, like, together, because they already had an 18, whatever. Yeah. And then there's a big old oops. And
there you are.
I was here. And so they never got married and took names. Okay. So they just thought, we'll hyphenate. So I ended up with Nikki Summer Gardner Schlegel.
It's a long one.
It's a long one, and no one knows how to pronounce it ever or anywhere you go. And so I just always went by Nikki Summer Gardner, and then it just went Nikki Summer. But people thought Nikki Gardner and Nikki Summer were two different people for a very long time, and I was like, this is a good thing. Yeah. This is a really good thing. I have two identities, like Hannah Montana lifestyle over here. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, professionally, I go by Nikki Summer because it's catchier. But, yeah, I have a very long, complicated name.
I have a very similar story to kind of that for both the things you just said there. So I'll go with the name first. So my name is Caleb Alexander English.
Okay.
And my best friend growing up, his name was Lane Alexander McGarity. And we thought it'd be funny if we, on Facebook, this is before Instagram and stuff, we were both Alexander and we put ourselves as brothers. So I did that. And then I moved to Kamloops, I don't know, like 17 years ago. And for about a decade, everyone thought my name was Caleb Alexander.
Crazy.
But it's not. It's Caleb English.
Yeah. Caleb. That's a good name, actually.
Thank you.
English, yeah.
I actually hate my first name. So
really?
I like to go by Cal. So
Cal?
Yeah.
Why do you not like Caleb? Just the way it sounds, or?
Growing up, everyone had names like Todd and Brad and Kyle, and then no one could ever pronounce my name.
Caleb?
Celeb or Khalib, and it just always got under my skin, so I've always fucking hated it.
So always gone by Cal.
No, just recently.
You're like, I changed my mind.
I recently was finally able to commit to it and be the person that I wanted to be with my name.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'll call you then. Cal.
Thank you. And then other thing, so funny enough, my mom's last name is Gardiner. There's an I in there.
The I, yeah.
And then my older sister is a half sister, so she's 8 years older than me. And then when she got married to my dad, she kept her last name because my sister's last name was Gardiner.
Oh, okay,
So Gardiner, my dad's last name was English. I just have my dad's last name.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of funny that you said didn't change the name.
Yeah.
And almost the same spelling too.
That's crazy. Yeah. Gardner was the easier one for sure. The Schlegel one, that was a trickier one for
a few more syllables in that one.
Yeah, when we would get like boarded on for a flight or something, it was always like Nikki Gardner
Yeah.
Sh.
That's like me with Caleb.
Yeah, right. And then it's like Nikki. they just stop trying.
Where's Nikki?
Yeah.
Is there
Where
a
is
Nikki
she?
here?
Yeah.
Paging Nikki.
No, literally, that's exactly what it was. But yeah, crazy.
All right. Okay, well, thank you for coming on. This was awesome. I know there's going to be some really big things for you in your future.
Thank you. I hope so.
Don't worry about the imposter syndrome. It means you're doing it right.
That's it. I'll remember that.
You're doing it right.
I will. I'll be remembering
doing something right. So, and anyone out there listening, watching, all that shit, check out Nikki Summer with 2 R's on Instagram. That you can find her professional page. And I give the spiel, but I won't go too much into it. Like, share, subscribe, all that. Put out there for your friends, and hopefully you like what we're doing here. And thank you again, Nikki.
Thank you for having me.